Welcome to another edition of the Dogger Pass podcast. This for UFC Vegas 13, coming off of the heels of a, mind-blowing, pretty non-shocking performance from Bobby King Green. Somebody had to pay, and it was me. Watching all the tapes, it's like, this guy's changed. You know what? He hasn't changed. You know what? Cody Saftic on the line with me, not in studio today. I deserve this, right, Cody?
Yeah, I guess you just deserve it. And so to speak, we actually talked about the fight a few times, being like, hey, that's the problem with Bobby Green is that he always fights to his opponent's level and he always makes it dicey decisions. And the Trinaldo fight and the Drakkar Klose fight, I thought he won both of them. Unfortunately, yeah, he's got poor ring IQ. He fights way closer than he needs to be at times. And he always sets himself up for these close fights. So Bobby Green losing what was another close fight. No, not shocking. On a personal level, I thought he won the fight. I thought he won the first round and the second round. But in the first round, he gets a slow start, right? He wins the middle portion of it. And then he hears the 10-second clapper. And for whatever reason, just decides to just run face first into a couple of good shots from Moises. And I felt right then that those shots sealed it for Moises. But whatever, I digress. We go to the second round. In the second round, that's Bobby Green's best round. And 100% he wins the second round. But the important thing to note is on the 10-second clapper, he tried to throw like a stupid flying knee. And got countered and got busted big right hand. Like what are you doing, man? Why in rounds that you're probably winning with 10 seconds left would you do something idiotic and cause yourself? And plus, judges always just remember the last 10 seconds. Anyways, classic Bobby Green. That's what he does. Overall, you look at all the winning picks compared to losing picks. It was a really good week. Unfortunately, because you had to parlay all these guys together, Bobby Green ended up on parlays. And even though I was 100% sure that the fight would go the distance, I thought he'd get his hand raised. So I hit that Bobby Green by decision prop. Unfortunately, went against him. So what can you do? Just got to rebuild, right?
100%. And, Bryce Mitchell, I did say on the show last week, I wonder, I didn't see too much of Andre Fili defending single legs. Sure enough, couldn't defend Bryce Mitchell's single legs. So I'm pretty gun shy coming into the week this week, and I feel like this should help. So let's do our punishment, do this for the people, and get into the action.
My man, Paul. I should have came down today. God damn. Yeah, well, what a day to miss.
UFC Vegas 13.
Yeah, that Aspinall fight. I'd be looking at that promoter's license but Bordeaux is not in it whatsoever.
You watched Bordeaux against Todd Stout, and you're like, how is
205er?
Bordeaux came in at 255 pounds, but that wasn't hey, I added a bunch of muscle. It was just I've eaten whatever I've wanted for the last whatever. I'm sure he's still working out, of course.
No, they were probably listen, dude, would you fight him?
That guy wasn't dieting coming into that, and he looked like someone who didn't diet.
C'est quoi ce numéro? And they're like, $12,000. 12,000 pièces? It's like, yeah, $12,000. Tu vas me payer 12,000 pièces pour le combat? Yeah, dude, we'll give you $12,000. That's more than he's made his fucking entire career. He'll take that fight.
Little known fact,
that ref
Cody
bailed
is
him out.
Fluent in French.
The ref bailed him out because he was he wasn't getting hurt. He was in mount. He was going to get hurt. But the ref was just enough. So it's actually a good call. You know what? Looking at the numbers, she tends to throw a little bit more than that, but not compared to Mazzo, who just eclipses 100 strikes in almost all of her fights. Keisha's advantage here is that she's freaking strong, man. Very, very strong girl, but her ring IQ is just right down the shitter. And as a result, she just fights very entertaining. I say by the shitter. Remember she shit her pants? That's a low-key joke for you guys that didn't get it. Her versus Feliz Herrig.
Not really a low-key joke when you follow it up
well,
by telling
because
people
I was
like,
that one's too good to just fly over 95% of the fan base's head.
Does she know Odell Beckham?
Odell Beckham quiche. No.
Oh, because Odell Beckham.
Did he also shout himself?
No, he liked getting pooped on.
Pooped on?
Allegedly.
Oh
my God.
There's
what'd that be called? A rusty
there's
shower?
there's this podcast. I saw a clip for it. There's this podcast with a bunch of girls that frequent
2 Girls, 1 Cup. Do you remember that shit from back in the day, bro? That was like
girls
the start
that just
of
happen
computers.
to when they
The
go
internet, I
into
should
different
say.
wherever they go. I don't know. Either way, I don't know.
I don't even want to talk about that, man.
I'm sure you could find the clip if you really want to find the clip.
Yeah,
We got off track here.
doesn't matter, Paul.
All
Let's
right,
chat. What do you
explain
want
this
chat?
fans only thing to me. So obviously, anybody who hasn't seen it, Beck Rawlings and Jessica Penne have PG.
Never would I
as
ever
Cody. Well, you said this. As Cody pointed out, I guess it's PG-13, so they're showing they show their what is this exactly? So like people pay a subscription to get like
Side boob.
to get like side boob pics.
Yeah, see, I don't understand it because at first I thought it was full X-rated. I was like, oh, right on. But
Like, I feel like such a boomer not knowing what this
how
stuff
could you
is.
possibly? If I was like, yo, dude, $20, I give you a dick pic, and you did buy it, what's to stop you from just putting the dick pic online? And now nobody else is gonna pay the money. That was my initial reaction. Was just like, man, how are they gonna get money out of this? But ultimately, it's just like, listen, sex sells. You got Beck Rawlings, who they're saying that her BKB career is flourishing. Her BKB career is flourishing, Paul. And she looked really bad in her Bellator debut, getting subbed by a knee bar in the first round, her last time out. So, like, shit's not going particularly well there. She is a mother, by the way, and a single mother, and she's got shit going on. She needs the money. Her, because she's got that kind of style and look, I could see people paying for
Being
it.
into that look.
Right?
Yeah.
The Jessica Penne one, she just got a 4-year USADA ban. She obviously needs the money. I don't understand that one fully.
This is a gate. To me, this feels like a gateway. This is a gateway to porn.
This is smart. No, well, I don't know. If
Is
it's a
it
gateway
smart?
Yeah.
If this was your sister, what would you think?
I'll tell you something. I'll tell you 2 things, actually. I'll tell you.
I
two
mean,
things
they're
here.
full-grown
No,
women.
no,
They are
no,
allowed
yeah.
to do what
The
they want.
first thing
Anybody
is-
listening, if you are an OnlyFans, that's what it's
No,
for,
I got 2
fans
things.
only.
Yeah.
If you are on their thing, good on you. That's what you're into. Like, I'm not gonna tell full-grown adults what they should and shouldn't do, but I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's
It's
my number one
Super
thing.
greasy.
The 2 things I
If it was
got
my
on
sister,
there.
I'd be ashamed.
Okay, fair enough. I'm glad you brought that up. The 2 things there. First of all, doesn't matter what my religion is or my political beliefs. What I truly believe is like, it's not you, then it's not your fucking business.
It is not
right?
my business.
If she wants to go and put up pictures online, or if whoever wants to do whatever the fuck they want with their own life, their own body, by all means. Now, the people that are paying for it, if they want to pay for it, that's on them because it's their fucking thing.
I agree with
So
all
the fact that a bunch of people signed up shows that there's people that were willing to pay and she's willing to do it right off the table. There's no morals, there's no ethic. That's none of my business, right? Again, if the fact that she's a mother and if people want to point that shit out, don't worry about somebody
I
else's
don't worry about
life,
that.
right?
They
just
can
don't.
collect the money if they want. That
But
doesn't
the
mean that I have to
second
be
thing
on
is-
board
I know,
with it.
I know, which is why I'm going to hit you with the second thing here, Paul.
Hit me with the second thing.
Young Paul Shaughnessy, young Cody Saftic, College of Sports Media. Just a couple weed lads coming up in the game. We get an opportunity to do a radio round table. I'm sure they wanted to talk about hockey or who cares, but we hijack it. We decide to talk a little MMA.
Yep.
We're doing the show. Women's fight, Strike Force. I bring it up. You, Paul Shaughnessy.
was years ago.
I'm disgusted that women are
Time
allowed to fight.
I mean-
I think of my sister. Your exact fucking words. It's
true.
I think of my sister. Would I want to see my sister get beat up? Fast forward. Paul loves women's MMA. You're down. They go for it. It's entertaining. All the respect in the world. High-level athletes. Tatiana Suarez, your baby. Times change, right? It's just like, it was their choice to fight. Who gives a shit?
So let me
It was
get
their
this
choice.
right.
Her, she wants to show a little side boob. She wants to show all the boob. Again, her fucking thing. But the one thing I will leave you with is this is a case, something I created called Home Depot syndrome, right? Beck Rawlings and Jessica Penne are not hot individuals. If you put them next to hot individuals, you would very clearly see that. However, they compete in the sport of MMA, where they're surrounded by very unfortunate looking individuals. So it's just like when you go to Home Depot. It's like that chick working at Home Depot is not good looking. But comparatively speaking to the other people in this Home Depot right now, she's fucking hot.
I mean, your Home Depot thing is the same as what I would call bush goggles. So I did 6 years of tree planting. I'm a shade under a million trees put into the ground throughout my university career and all of that. I planted trees, and that's how I made money to get to where I am now. I am in a Hall of Fame. One Hall of Fame honor for tree planting.
That's fucking badass.
We call it bush goggles. So it's like week 1, you're just like, there is no way that I would do that.
In the real
And
world.
then in general.
Yeah.
Year 2, you're like, well,
She doesn't look that bad.
she's lost about 10 pounds. We've been working real hard. Like a month into it, the bush goggles really, really kick in.
Oh, yeah.
And you do things that you would probably never have done
Because
before.
compared to all the other options,
Yeah.
this one's clearly looking like the best one. And I'm very quick to say, oh, my baby, Joanny and Jacek, my real baby, Aspen Lat. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, if they were on the Victoria's Secret runway, like, I just don't know that they'd fit in, right? And that fucking hurts me to say that, Paul, because then my babies, ride or dies. But it's just like, I'm a realist at the end of the day. I gotta consider. So the Beck Rawlings thing, it's just like, dog.
They're allowed to do
you can
whatever
go-
they want to do. You guys are allowed to like
Yeah,
what
but you
you
could
are
go-
going to like. I'm not going to stop anybody from collecting money off of this thing. Maybe all I'm saying is it's just not my thing.
All I'm saying is you could easily go watch.
I mean, there's fucking porn
I'm
everywhere.
saying,
You
you
can
can
watch
go-
porn.
you could
You
go
want to see
watch.
full boob?
You
You're
go watch.
paying to see side boob?
Boob. You could watch some bugged up shit on the internet, my
Yeah.
friend. But yeah, you can go watch Cagney for free. You can go watch Sophie D or Gianna Michaels. You can go watch
like-
Lauren Phillips. Tattoos are your thing? No problem. You have Christine Mack. You have all these different girls. Bonnie Rotten, whatever. Pamela Peaks. All I'm saying is there's options. You don't have to pay
It's Annabelle
$19.99.
Peaks is the one that you're talking about.
Pamela Peaks is an escort agency, but I don't use it. It's an American one, but she used to represent a bunch of porn stars
Annabelle
back in the
Peaks
day.
is, yeah.
Yeah, Annabelle Peaks. She's a hot MILF, and she's tatted up, big fat titties.
Yep.
Yeah, why would you be paying for Beck? Although Beck Rawlings got her fakies done too, so
Yeah.
you know what?
And I guess only the fans only
I guess
are gonna.
I'm just gonna
get a piece of
have
the pie.
to. I'm just gonna have to man up and buy the fan
$20.
only, and then I'll let you guys know on a further Dogger Pass review. I'll let you know if it's a Dogger Pass situation on the pick side of things.
It sounds good. Carl.
Hold on. I did the work here on this one with the nicknames and such.
Oh, sorry. I thought that once you had the one that wasn't ready for public consumption.
No,
that we'll
no.
move on.
I kind of workshop this a little bit.
Okay, I
Also,
like it.
you can get my guide to hear Double Z, which is we'll work on that in a second. You can get him to win by decision is plus 260 if you actually think he's going to win, and it's going
Yeah,
to
he
be by
doesn't
decision.
finish people. I'm telling you.
All right, so Double Z is a very logical one, but if you say Double Z, you say like Zzz. So you can call him like the drill. You can call him the B. You can do anything like that. Or you just say Double Z. What's Double Z? That's nap time. You can call him Mr. Dream. You can call him the snooze button. The Russian Dream.
The problem with the sleep dynamic is that he doesn't finish fights though.
And he's not boring, so it's not like he's putting
Or
you
he'll
to
put
sleep.
you
like,
to sleep
he just
watching it
throws
because
a
he
lot.
doesn't finish. He's the snooze button.
The snooze button. I actually kind of like that one.
That's hilarious.
All right, the snooze button plus 155, potentially plus 160. I'll have a look. Not a big look, but
The last thing I gotta
Have a
say
look.
is just for sake of argument here, it's actually Z. It's not Z. It's Z.
when I do the
So,
alphabet, I always go Y and Z.
everybody does, but we're in Canadian, so you have to stick to it. It's ZZ top. Coming to this matchup, he's got some supreme confidence in himself. But I'm sold on Chimaev. I mean, he fights the exact way that you would want him to fight. I think he's got two avenues to victory here. A, he takes Avenue A that we all hope he does. Take him down, smash, smash, smash.
Smash.
Done. Chimaev could definitely do it. Stay out of the triangle. Just stay out of harm's way. Don't even bother passing guard. Well, actually, get to half guard. Half guard would be the best place to hang out and just smash it. With there's no submissions from there, realistically.
Grab his other arm, do the smash.
Yeah, exactly.
The
Especially
Dagestani,
just lock him
tie
up
or
against the
whatever they
cage.
do.
Yeah, Dagestani handcuff him, get
Yeah.
him up against it. It'd be the Chechnyan handcuff in this case,
Chechen.
but just put him up against the cage and smash away at this guy. And not only is just a lot of these Chechnyan guys, Dagestani guys, they're so good in the wrestling department, in the Sambo department. Because think about I mentioned this the other day, but think about just like a high school wrestling team. You go to high school, you show up in the gymnasium, and there's you can start wrestling in grade 8, let's say. You show up, you're already 14 years old. There's 30 kids in the gymnasium, Paul. You realistically need to maybe beat one or two of them to get the starting spot on the high school wrestling team. And you wrestle for 4 years, then you go to college. Some other kids. Now, these Dagestani kids, these Chechen kids, they're in a room with like 300-400 kids, man. And the only way you're getting a sponsorship, the only way you're getting out of here, the only way that you're going to hopefully provide for your family is if you're the top guy. And you just grind. Not only does he have that, where he has all that lifetime of grind, that mentality, that ability to just keep going, that what he's showing off, is that he was one of the guys that got out, went to Sweden, and just really shored up his striking skills. And there lies his second path to victory. I think he could honestly keep this fight standing and knock out Jared Mearshart. I honestly do believe it. I think Mearshart doesn't wear a shot particularly well, and I think that Chimaev's got he's got some good power. There's videos of him online in his regional showing career where he's getting the TKO over guys where he shows some decent striking. But beyond that, I mean, there's videos of him training at All Stars Gym where he floors Alexander Gustafsson with a body kick. It's like, man, this guy's a scary talent. 26, getting better. I talk about Jared Mearshart's confidence. This kid's confident. And everybody's behind him. Everybody's riding him. And whereas he's not one of these Chase Hoopers, he's not a Sage Northcutt. He's not one of these guys that's like, yeah, man, this guy looks sick. Fucking who lost the other day? Bozo that won't accept it. Sean O'Malley. You know what I mean? This guy's the real deal, man. And now I know it was Reese McKee. I know it was John Phillips.
But he made them look like they didn't belong in the same
exactly what a man of that caliber would do to them. Now, if Gerald Mearshart fought John Phillips, he might get knocked the fuck out. But he would probably take him down and submit him. It could be a dicey fight. If he took on Reese McKee, it goes a few rounds. It's not just complete 10-7 domination. Holy shit, what the hell is happening right here? It's different. So I am all over Chimaev. But I did have a dream last night. So I'm thinking all last night. That's probably why I had the dream.
There's a
How can he
theory
lose?
coming in here.
How can he lose this fight? How can he lose this fight? Can't fucking figure it out. Then I'm sleeping, lying in my bed.
He's been told to
No,
take a
Chimaev.
dive.
No, Chimaev. No. And it comes to me, okay? Imagine he is just putting a licking on Jared Mearshart. And then, boom, a sick knee to the body. Mearshart falls over. Chris Tognoni runs in and says, whoa, shot to the groin. Gives Mearshart fucking 5 minutes to recover. Chimaev goes back to smash, and the son of a bitch pulls off a Kimura. Outside of that, I don't really see Jared Mearshart winning this fight. So I'm on Team Chimaev and definitely got him parlayed with Colby Covington, and we'll get back to the other parlay piece I got him with. But yeah, I like some Chimaev. I am on the train.
And finally, I actually made a board for this one because I was really fired up about it after looking into Max Ra. I'm probably butchering his last name, but we're going to learn it, I think. Max Rohskopf. He's minus 170 favorite. Austin Harbor can be had for plus 150. I actually jumped in on Rohskopf after watching some tape and looking into his story and his personal history. I jumped in at a worse price. I don't really understand the most recent line movements on him.
Yeah, sums up.
I see him, minus 165 in some spots, minus 170 in others. Here's the thing about him. 2-time All-American wrestler. Love that. You know me.
Right.
I see that and I go, okay.
You have my intrigue. North Carolina State University, a good program.
NC State won the ACC. He's the ACC champion in his junior year. Tore his labrum. So this is a guy who was well on his way to becoming a 3-time All-American. When you start thinking about those guys, you have like Gregor Gillespie. I guess Johnny Hendricks was multiple time. I don't know if he got 3, but
Kurt Angle?
Yeah.
Kurt Angle was probably Daniel Cormier, I
think
imagine.
Josh
Ben
Koscheck.
Askren. Like we're talking about
elite level wrestling.
Getting that many All-Americans, that is elite. But when he tore his labrum, he went, met up with Robert Drysdale, one of the best submission teachers in America. Definitely in the top 5, I would say, or well known at least. So he's working. He's got that as wrestling. Now he's got the submissions. You watch some of his tape. I think his striking is definitely a work in progress. He's 25 years old. I'm expecting that from a guy of his age. I see a decent overhand right in his most recent fight on, was it Legacy or Titan? I saw some kicks and a little bit more
It just
creative.
happened so fast.
He
That's
had
the
some
problem.
kicks and it was a little bit more creative. And I see people and I understand. We know that Hubbard can go 3 rounds. We don't know that about Rohskopf because he usually just finds that submission super fast. He's super strong. He's got the submission skills and the wrestling. He doesn't even seem to have to use it because the submissions have been coming so easy. And here's the thing about the gas tank.
Yeah.
Tell me he would have been a 3-time. Tell me a multiple time All-American, D1 All-American who has cardio issues.
I'll tell you. Tell me an Olympic silver medalist, wrestler, a 9-time Danish wrestling champion who has cardio issues. But Hubbard just got taken down a zillion times against Marco Madsen.
Yes.
And just made him worse.
He's still lost.
Marco Madsen got real tired. Lost. Fair. Very fair point.
Rohskopf has better submission skills than him, and Madsen
was being
Madsen was
crazy. Some
able
great
to get
athletes.
into some positions. I don't think he had the technique to finish him out.
That I agree with.
I think Rohskopf is going to get a
that-
first round submission. That's what I actually see here. I think
First round submission.
first round submission.
I think
I'm
you're
waiting
wrong
for
on
that submission prop to open. I see him inside the distance at plus 135. If we can get like a 3-1 him by submission, I'm in on that. I mean, I already have him in some plays as it is this week. I told my boy Pogi Rob that when I watched him, I got the same feeling as when I first watched tape on Israel Adesanya and Gregor Gillespie. Not in
And
terms
Justin
of their
Scoggins?
style, just in terms of how excited I was about where we can go with this guy. I think this guy's legit. Everything I see on tape and his story, everything like that, I'm expecting big things from him. So I don't actually understand that line movement. I'm in on Max. All in on Max.
Yeah, here's what's refraining me from getting all in on Max. First of all, you nailed it, right? We don't know. We speculate that he can fight 3 rounds, but we don't realistically know.
That is, yeah, it's a question.
Whereas we 100% know with Hubbard that he can fight 15. He's going to fight 15 hard. He's durable, and he's at elevation. Same camp as Blades. He's ready for this fight. His camp is literally on fire. He trains with the greatest guys in the world, right? Meanwhile, Robert Drysdale is a jiu-jitsu guy. He trains jiu-jitsu. Max has been largely training in jiu-jitsu. Max can wrestle. Max can grapple. Paul, here's the question: can Max fight? That you don't know. So right away, that's going to be a bit of a question mark, right? Don't know about the cardio. Don't know if this guy can take a punch in the face. Don't know if UFC jitters could affect him. Don't know about all that stuff. But here's a question for you, right? You're saying how great you like this guy, right? Geez, could have been a 3-time All-American, right? He's a good D2 or a D1
He has
All-American.
all of the
2 of them.
skills that just make me excited.
Trains at Drysdale. He's in Las Vegas. UFC's in Las Vegas. This guy's a natural fit to be on one of
Main
their
training
cards.
partner of Dan Ige. Dan Ige goes out, beats Edson Barbosa in a striking match last time out.
Main training partner of Dan Ige, right?
He's in Vegas, so like it's short notice, but hey, you're already there. I'm sure this kid's been getting ready. They probably had him on the wire saying, "You're in line if we need somebody at 155."
You know what the worry becomes
What?
is that why, if he's such a great prospect, why would they be giving him a fight on a week's notice? Like Hubbard had an opponent. Hubbard was going to fight
Because it's
already.
COVID and you need people.
No, and then you say, oh, geez, well, I think this guy's going to take Hubbard down and submit him. Right. He probably does take Hubbard down. I mean, Madsen had him down 8 times. No doubt he probably takes him down. Dobby Ramos couldn't submit him.
Yeah.
Dobby Ramos is a legitimate ADCC competitor. This kid don't got nothing on Ramos, but Hubbard survived. Hubbard hasn't been submitted in 4 years. He's young. He's improving. He's at a top camp. I got Max. Don't get me wrong. I got Max on the basis of Madsen took him down 8 times like nothing. The difference is Madsen has no top game. He's a good wrestler. He's no top game. When he got him down, he couldn't hold him down. I expect Max to take him down the same way, but when he does take him down, it's grind city. I get that. But I can't go all in on him. I can't go all in on him because there's too many question marks to where this guy's at. And also, as much as we explain, he's got all the skills in the world, and he's got a favorable matchup, and all these things. Only minus 170. He doesn't scream.
People don't know who he is.
Yeah, but people don't know who a lot of Roosevelt Roberts. Why is he coming into the UFC as a 3-1 favorite? Why do you see guys off Contender Series coming to the UFC as 3-1, 4-1 favorites? They have no business being big favorites. They just are because people like these guys.
We haven't
This kid's undefeated. He's an All-American wrestling champion, which everybody loves.
Yeah.
He trains with the best American jiu-jitsu guy in Las Vegas, if not all of North America or in the US. Robert Drysdale can't take anything from Danaher, but Drysdale's one of the guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
Fuck, he's got it all, and he's taking on Austin Hubbard. And he's only a minus 170. There's something there. So I'll leave it to this. I'm going to leave it to this. Maybe Pat can look this up real quick. It might be hard to find. He's Dan Ige's top training partner. Is he managed by Ali?
I'm not sure.
If he is, I got him. Fuck,
That's
for
why
sure.
you get in on short notice.
For
Because they go,
sure.
this
For
is
sure.
a perfect
Yeah,
matchup.
yeah, because then it would, because then Ali would be like, oh, whoa. We got a guy.
I mean, his other main training partners are Puna Soriano.
Yeah.
Ali guy.
They're all Ali guys.
They're
from
all
Vegas,
Ali guys.
From Vegas. They're at Extreme Couture.
Telling you, man, this is, and we've been talking about
Okay,
these
you
COVID
got
markets.
me.
The
You
problem
got
is that
me.
most people don't watch tape. When I watched tape, I was just like, this guy has the goods. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty confident I'm right.
And one thing I will throw on that is that Madsen's like physically imposing and he has his way with Hubbard. And then as round 3 comes on, Hubbard's just, man, it's too hard taking down this big guy. This big guy's leaning on me. Madsen 5'8", Hubbard 5'10". This kid's 6'1". Like
he's 6'1", and he's got 73
pretty big
inch
for the weight
reach, so
class.
he's got
Man.
height and reach advantage over Hubbard as well.
Okay, but if Ali doesn't manage him, he's trying to cut weight on a week's notice, and he's big for the weight class, could go against him. If Ali does manage him, he's been training for 6 weeks.
Yeah,
for
he
this
knew he
fight.
was going to get this fight long before Hubbard
Not
did.
only, it's like you're fighting Austin Hubbard, but he's signed to fight this guy. No,
Don't worry, that guy's out.
trust me.
I have researched something. I don't know if this is right or not. What is sucker punch?
Oh, is he sucker punch? Then he's not. Dominion or domination? Domination.
I don't know.
Sucker punch entertainment is Brian.
Who knows though? Those things
Brian
change.
Butler.
Yeah,
Sucker
that
punch?
could be what he's listed as, like unless it's like a new news outlet or something like that.
You know what? Greasy theory.
Because like you don't
Sucker
hear,
punch
you don't
doesn't
hear,
manage him. It's just a
For
little,
instance, you don't
under the
hear
books.
when somebody signs with Ali. Like if some 5-0 prospect signs with Ali, that's not news, right?
Yeah,
so
okay,
He could have
but-
already been over.
right.
If all of his boys are over, I'm willing to
No,
wager
see,
that
that's-
him and Ali have had that talk.
Yeah, but Ige's Ali's boy, and he got set up with great opportunities right at the get-go. And Soriano, holy fuck, dude, talk about a guy that's been set up with some nice opportunities right at the get-go. This kid's taking a fight on a week's notice. He's their training partner.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll look into it more. He's got the skills. It's just I got a bad gut feeling on that one.
All right.
How about this?
What we got?
His Twitter handle is maxout115, but it's 3 X's for Max.
Let's go.
Triple X. Max Payne.
I'm in.
I'm in.
Now Cody's in. I'm Paul Shaughnessy, joined in studio by Cody Saftic, coming off the heels of the Max Rohskopf. I may have been a truther. Actually, I was probably like leading the charge.
You weren't on the bandwagon, Paul.
I
You were
was the
driving. You were driving.
I
the
was
bandwagon.
driving the bandwagon, and I don't think most people probably missed it on Twitter, but I self-imposed a shoey on myself because, people came through. I got them the Jim Miller. I had 10-1. Some people had like 8, 7, whatever to 1. That helped to mitigate some of the pain that happened, the max pain, as some would say.
What did
but
we
yeah,
learn,
so I was
though? Did
as
you at
soon
least
as
get a lesson.
he quit.
Yeah, but
He
there's
quit.
a good lesson to be learned.
My whole thought about the whole process was this guy's a 2-time All-American national champion or All-American wrestler.
Yeah.
Those guys don't quit. Those guys don't have cardio issues. None of it carried through. I projected a little bit too much. So on Twitter, I told myself, I replied to a tweet of a fan and you, and I said, nah, this ain't right. Somebody's got to do a shoey today. So I didn't have very much around here. And this one's for Terry and Diener, for our Canadian fans here. They'll understand what's up with
It's a
that.
grime boot, too.
We got a good old fashioned Canadian Pilsner. And then we got this is my winter boot. It's been here for months now.
I can confirm the longevity of this boot in the
It's been here. Here, have a look at the boot. It's nasty.
I got off lucky with my cowboy
It's
boots.
nasty.
Okay,
I was shaking dirt out of it before we got started.
You probably can't see it from this close, but there's like a slight color on the metal from the salt that has just eaten it away.
These things have
hardware of
seen
the
a
boot.
good 5 Canadian winters. Trust me, they've seen some shit. So,
But
they're-
unlike
they've
Max,
actually-
Paul Shaughnessy ain't gonna quit.
They've
on
never
this.
seen a thing. I haven't been drinking very much during this could be very bad. Let's get after it. You can carry on the conversation if you want.
Yeah, so the
But I gotta pour
play-by-play
slow
is
so I don't have
it's
too
an
much
old
foam.
style Pilsner, pretty decent beer. I would say would go down fairly smooth. What I noticed when I did the shoey is that it won't leak through. Like you don't got to worry about losing any. It's when you start to physically pour it, it'll generate a lot of foam. Like mine generated a lot of foam.
Yeah, I see a lot of foam here.
Yeah, right. So that becomes the problem.
I think
because
the shit, all the dirt and stuff is piling up here. Oh my god.
Okay, so then there's your saving grace. The beer tasted exactly the same. It didn't. It might be a mind over matter thing, but as far as your palate goes, the beer's a beer. Well, we have
Over
a
the
legit-
lips and past the gums. Look out, stomach. Here it comes.
Jesus Christ.
Paul's getting after it. You always get some spillage too. Should have got his little Anderson Silva. Holy fuck, man! You did way better than I did. Yeah. There you go, Paul.
First fight on the card. Dustin Poirier taking on Dan Hooker. Dustin Poirier, -220 favorite. Dan Hooker can be had for +180. I'm going to recollect myself here. Why don't you take it away?
I just don't know that Tim Means has got those dogfights left in him, whereas Mike Perry makes
Very
fights that
durable.
he has massive advantages, dogfights. Fights that he has, he's giving up.
From what you
every
said
skill,
earlier,
he
it
makes
sounds like 8,200 Mike
Yeah,
Perry
no
is hide your
doubt.
kids,
No
hide your
doubt.
wife, and add him to every single lineup.
No doubt. If Mike Perry loses, I will fight somebody at Arby's, which is essentially the path Mike Perry's going down.
You have any thoughts before we get into this there, Cody, or should we just jump right in?
I just want to clarify to the viewers that normally Paul and I shoot, usually around noon, usually around 1, 2 o'clock. Those are work hours. We're shooting right now at 9:45. I've been drinking, all right? I played 18 today with my buddy Kev. I kicked his fucking ace. I'm feeling good. I've been drinking. Take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. I'm going to shoot it to you straight. And then in the morning, it's like I'm going to say, geez, I wish I would have jumped into a little bit more of the analytics. But it is what it is, brother. So let's roll through it, and we'll get her done.
That's tremendous news. To be perfectly honest, you're gonna carry the show here because it's 9:30, and I'm unfortunately someone has to take care of all this machinery and stuff. So, I'm stone cold sober. It's horrible. I'm actually pretty jealous. So let's get into this. Maybe I can have some drinks after.
So right off the get-go, I would be inclined to tell you, don't bet this fight, or just bet the underdog, right? At the very least. Beyond that, we have the great Ronda Markos streak still in effect, people. So let's start with...
Nah.
No.
And
You can counter when I get there, because I know what I know. And we'll let the people...
You were gonna try to say this.
Okay, let me tell my piece, and then you can counter when I'm finished. She loses her UFC debut to Jessica Panay. She wins her second fight against Aisling Daly. Then she loses to Karolina Kovacevic. But then she beat Jocelyn Jones-Leibarger. But then she lost to Courtney Casey. But then she beat Carla Sparza. But then she lost to Alessa Grasso. But then she beat Juliana Lima. But then she lost to Nina Ansarov.
Draw.
And then she had a draw. Okay. Now, that
throws off everything, Cody.
Let me finish, Paul. Let me finish. It doesn't throw off nothing, because as a result of the draw, it's a non-winner. It's inconclusive. It's like a no contest, essentially. If you had bet it, it would be a push. So let's say you simply only bet the streak, and you bet every fight in the streak without even tape researching it. You just bet the streak, okay? When you hit that draw, they would have just given you your money back. Now, the streak can only continue if she wins the fight. Press it. She lost to Nina Ansarov. The draw happens. She has to win for the streak to continue, and she beats Angela Hill with the armbar. But then she loses to Claudia Gadelha. But then she beats Ashley Yoder. But then she loses to Amanda Ribas. This woman has never won 2 fights in a row in the UFC. She has never lost 2 fights in a row in the UFC. That is the streak, Paul. The draw does not affect that. Yeah, I'm betting it based on the fucking streak, man. And then if you want to talk about it more technically speaking,
Markos?
Yeah, of course I am. Well, I mean, come on. I've been burned on every other women's MMA fight I've bet, and I'll get burned on this one as well. So very limited exposure. But yeah, hell's yeah.
With heavyweights, it's you get to a certain level of power, and it's just it doesn't fucking. That's why I've been saying for years, and I don't think we're gonna see it. But Francis Ngannou, you give me a +100, and I will bet it against Jesus Christ moves up to 265 pounds to take on France, and he's got all of his miracles and shit. I'm still taking Frankie Murder at +100 because that power there's no coming back from it. He hits you really, really clean, and you're fucked. The human brain can only take so much. Pull up his record here.
No, yeah.
Look at the wins that Marcos Rogerio de Lima has had in his career.
Yeah. Well, you start off with Richardson Morera, Igor Prokhyat, Clint Hester, Jeremy Kimball. Oof, I don't even want to talk about that. What? Adam Wazorek, and Ben Sassoli should 100% get done.
He will.
But in
probably after
the current climate of the UFC,
he doesn't have a win over anybody.
Could
who's
potentially
still,
be booked on this card.
Yeah, in the current climate of the heavyweight division in the UFC in COVID times, of course. Ben Sassoli still has a job. But literally everybody that this guy has ever beaten inside the UFC doesn't belong at this level.
She really does put it on, right? She goes for it, balls to the walls. And if you're this up-and-coming prospect that everybody's talking about, you're the hot shit, and the UFC gives you a 3-4 opponent
that you called out,
that you asked for, There's no fucking around. You go in there and you do what you got to do. And I feel like that's what she is going to do.
Free square on DraftKings.
Right. So I could not recommend you playing her
Unless you're
1250
Pat.
straight
Pat's
up.
playing Dobson.
I probably wouldn't play her on DraftKings. I probably would play the favorite on DraftKings. I'm just asking you, in the past, let's say 5 years in the UFC, in these like one-sided women's fights, how often do you, like, if you would just bet anything plus 500 or higher as the underdog, would you be up or down?
I think you'd be up. I agree in most scenarios with your train of thought there. Like plenty of these more green women in the division are not worth like laying minus 700, minus 800. There's holes in their game, so like
For sure.
so those holes create value on the other side. I feel like you're like knockout or bust with Shana Dobson.
See, I find I hear where Pat's coming from. I find because I play the fool all the time and I make these stupid bets. But you have somebody who you just assume is going to outstrike the opponent and has the striking advantage. But you're getting screwed more often when it's like, God damn, I didn't realize her grappling was that bad. They're getting submitted by armbars from guard. Is obviously notorious, but it's like they're giving up takedowns. They're getting grinded. Dobson, you have to take that off the table.
Yeah,
right?
the armbar from guard
Armbar
probably
from guard's
not
not going to happen. In fact, I don't know that she takes down. I don't know
Not
that
on
she
that
can
side,
take
at
Agapova.
least.
Because of the height discrepancy, once she tries to clinch up, she loves to clinch up, by the way. When she clinches up, she's just going to get bombed by knees. If she does happen to get on top of the takedown, Agapova is just better submission threat. You know, I feel like the only path for Dobson is just club her with a big old shot over the top. But in Agapova, it's like she's lost just the one time to Tracy Cortez, who's a good wrestler and stronger and more mature and older. And like that one is like, okay, I see the path to victory. With Dobson's like, I just need to club her. Well, no one's done that. No one's really come close to doing that. I don't know that that's really a great path. Does she?
Is that her only path though?
Feels like it.
Unless she takes her down, which it's possible that she ends up on top, and for whatever reason, she just holds her down, and Agapova does not do anything. I don't see it. I really don't. I don't. Dobson's strong. She's physical. She's a willing opponent, but she's just a warm body here, right? We can't mince words. It is what it is, and she's there to put a little shine in Agapova. How good is Agapova? Well, that's your choice to make. But how many people blew through Hannah Cybers and looked that good? Oh, geez, I guess not that many. Tracy Cortez, well, that's a credible loss. And she's won 3 fights since then. And she's looked good in those 3 fights. And she's fought decent
23.
competition. And Alexa Connors, Marilla Santos, those are good girls that she beat in the fall after that. 23. Training at a better facility now. Seems like things are going in the positive direction that Dobson ain't springing no upset. But because it's 1250, you run into Sean O'Malley syndrome where you just break your own fucking ankle. You can't discredit Vera. We talked about he was a game opponent and all that, but let's just be real here. It could happen to anybody at any time.
O'Malley's
you
ankles,
could just break your ankle.
O'Malley's weak ankles is definitely a thing.
Yeah, for
Happened
sure.
in the Sukumantath fight.
I
Same
don't
thing.
know that you can comfortably bet him in a lot of spots,
think so.
considering he's done it twice.
Yeah.
Once.
I mean, he
shit
almost.
happens.
It
Twice?
seems like he just has to stop throwing leg kicks because his feet are too fragile.
But that's how 1250s lose, right?
Yeah.
Is shit like that.
Banana peel
Yeah,
pricing.
banana peel pricing. You slipped on a banana peel and you knocked yourself out.
Quick props: Agapova by knockout is plus 120. Agapova by decision plus 155. Or
So you bet.
Dobson
I don't like any of them.
inside the distance 14-1.
Okay, so just bear with me
I
on
don't
this.
like any of them.
Bear with me on this. Bear with
I'm
me on
just
this.
staying away from this fight.
Bear with me on this. If you were to put $100 on Agapova by submission and $100 on Agapova by knockout, they're both plus money? Or do you think she wins a decision?
I don't.
You're just passing. That's fine. I'm saying you get plus money on both those
I
props.
would,
That's
I would
actually
do
not
the
bad.
submission. What was the submission price?
The submission was plus 155.
I'd do that.
And I had the
knockout.
I like the knockout prop, and you like the submission prop, but they're both plus money, is what I'm saying. So if you,
And I like a 14-1 winner, so I have
enough.
the best one.
fair enough. This is something that we never pick at 12-1 anyway, so it was a pass. Just
we
like
told
Chimaev.
people not to bet her.
Well, of course, but we're talking about was you going to get it by submission or TKO. But Patrick Mayo, right on that, and we kind of just brushed him off like
we
Pat.
did.
And for that
She's
reason,
that bad. I
for
think
that
those are
reason-
exact words out of my
because
mouth.
I brushed off him on a very valid point. Why would you ever bet a women's fight at this point, let alone as a massive underdog? Just simply take Dobson, which was the move, which would have saved you. If you had a bad night, that one play alone would have quite literally saved you. So I thought to myself, you know what, self-imposed.
No, Mayo wouldn't let Cody into the building without bringing his shoe.
Yeah, well, I'm wearing a
Fake
flip flop. I wasn't gonna funnel it anyway, so I thought I'm gonna do a shoe. It's self-imposed. I should do a shoe. But then I thought, you know what? Fuck me. It is the biggest upset technically in UFC history. So, what's a dirty sneak? We can have a dirty barn boot. So
there we
we're
go.
back to the booty.
That thing is dirty.
Dirty as hell.
Inspect that. Thank you. Look at.
That's a barn boot, ladies and gentlemen. Made in New
There's
Zealand.
like little danglies and
New
stuff
Zealand
coming off
leather.
this thing.
Thankfully, because it stepped on a lot of horse shit in its day. Currently, as of yesterday, actually.
Oh boy.
Mind you, because it's airtight, the shit didn't seep to the bottom, and that's why the shoey should be relatively easy to get down. So, man, never do you want to self-impose a shoey. However, we were a little dismissive of Pat on a very excellent point. It was a bad card, passed all around, but what's fair is fair. So I think I'll get myself a shoey here.
I'd like for us to like have an episode now. Like, we'll roll into an episode where there doesn't have to be any punishments. That would be fun.
Oh, that's a dirty fucking shoey.
Get after it, kid.
I'm not like you though. I can't crush in one. I'm gonna do my best though, because it was a bad pick.
Come on. Tilt it. Oh, he's struggling. It is all foam. You got it.
It's all foam. Hogarth is probably a bad choice.
You got mustache foam. I think that's pretty good. I did not request this, by the way.
Pat demanded it. Stood
Hogarth
in front of
was
the door
probably a poor
going,
choice.
nah.
Okay. Fucking Taituivasa.
I mean, he didn't mess you up this time. It was Agapova. But maybe that means the Hogarden's working.
This is very impressive. While I have you and you're watching this, subscribe to the Mayo Media Network, where you can now find the Dog or Pass podcast. The Dog or Pass podcast is actually going to have its own feed, audio-wise, starting soon, breaking away from the Pat Mayo Experience podcast. So be on the lookout for that. I'm just mentioning this now, so in like 3 weeks' time, when it completely transfers over, you're like, oh shit, I remember it has its own feed. But all the videos are going to be up there. If we get to 10K subscribers by Monday, I'm doing cash giveaways. So fucking go subscribe to the show, share the show, do all that. Support your guys, Paul and Cody, and Pat Mayo.
If you're watching the episode right now, you're in the right place. So hit the subscribe button. That's pretty simple. If you followed our link on Twitter or wherever else that we share the link, Cody is struggling over here.
Oh, okay.
That's because you have found the right place. Hit the subscribe. It's not going to show up on the DraftKings YouTube page like it has in the past. It's going to show up on the Mayo Media Network. It's new to me. But yeah, it's going to end up there. Hit the subscribe. There's going to be basically just all of our content and everybody in the community, or the Pat Mayo Experience community. All of our content is going into the same place. Why don't we talk about some fights that are happening this week?
My God, yeah.
Are you ready? Are you good?
And will not be a shoey bet on this week's card.
Mays minus 225 favorite. Martinez plus 185. I mean, you don't make money long term betting Dante Mays minus 225 against just about anybody, Cody. I watched a little bit of, because I saw this number. I was startled. Frankly, I was like mortified looking at Dante Mays as a minus 225 favorite. Rewatched the Martinez versus our boy Romanov, and boy, it wasn't pretty. He came in on short notice there. I don't think that this is any sort of high level talent. This is basically the lowest level of the heavyweight division that we've got going right now. I think Alan Crowder, our boy, is gone now. So or who's that? Smelly Jack Off as well. He's no longer around. So this is what we've got. I'm Paul Shaughnessy, graced by the presence of Cody Saftic back in studio after COVID lockdown.
Yeah, are we still in a red zone?
I don't even know anymore. I can't keep track of
They
this
change
shit.
it every other day.
I'm such a boring person. I don't really see anybody except for when you come in. I see Pat. I see Matt. Matt behind the scenes there doing all the sweet cuts.
Well, yeah.
Otherwise, like, pretty boring guy, man.
You mentioned when I came in, you're like, oh, I haven't really gone out or done much, which is fair because of the current pandemic. But your beard, you're totally rocking a war beard. So I'm pretty proud of you, my
I've
man.
got flops and socks.
I can tell you haven't really
on.
been up to a whole lot.
Flops and socks, jogging pants, and just like I even got a neck beard going right now. 0 fucks are being given.
No,
Cody.
we're currently looking like a couple homeless guys here, and we're broken a homeless man's card, and yet 2 title fights. Crazy. Justin Ray Gaethje. Justin Ray Gaethje, born in Sanford, Arizona. His mother, Carolina, is of Mexican descent. Ooh, Justin Gaethje. That's why he can take a hell of a punch, man. Like, cast iron chin. The guys that have knocked him out, Eddie Alvarez, it was a dogfight. He caught him with a knee late. And Dustin Poirier. If you want to talk MMA math, fuck, Dustin Poirier beat him.
I'm not thinking MMA math.
No, but those guys got the gunpowder to go, tit for tat with him, take his best shots, give it back. And you can seriously argue that he took something out of Eddie Alvarez and he took something out of Dustin Poirier. But he himself, he's still young. He's still the highlight kid. He's still getting better and
If
better.
they fought 10 times, Cody, how many times does Gaethje win?
I don't know. I think more than 2. You said 2. I'd say.
So that would be minus 400 would be, if you're
I'm
talking
just
value,
really
plus
tempted.
275 means that he would win like,
Well, this is what I mentioned to you.
like
This is what I mentioned to you.
72, I don't know. I don't have a calculator in front of me, but like mid 70%, or Khabib would win 70% of the time.
This is
basically
what
at
I
this
mentioned
number.
to you earlier, is that you put Khabib on your parlays, right? Because it's the last fight of the night. If your parlays get to the main event unscathed, then
don't
it's
hedge.
an easy hedge out on Justin
you
Gaethje.
don't.
I think he's the kind of guy you hedge out on. And one last point I want to bring up, right? You said he's super motivated. This is his father's tribute fight. That all might be possible. It might be possible. But the flip side to that is the other guys we've seen from the camp, whether it be Tagir Ulanbekov, didn't look particularly great. We saw Tuhugov, didn't particularly great. Saeed looked sick. But it was really fast.
We're ready, brother.
It was fucking awesome. Like 2 minutes into the fight, right? So I don't know. Is he gonna go 3, 4, 5 really, really hard? One thing I want
He's
to.
been in camp for like 3 months.
He has, but it's just I don't know. Well, we'll talk about it because we got to get down. But one thing I want to mention, we can totally move away, is Walt Harris, right? Walt Harris comes into the fight with Overeem as motivated as you could get, right? Here's his tribute fight. If you see his physicality now, his shape now, and you see him there, he's like 30 pounds out of shape fighting. Well, why wasn't he super motivated? Shit happened in his life. You could be motivated, but it's like hard to really dial it in. So with Khabib, maybe he is dialed in. Maybe he's so cast iron, sturdy Russian. And listen, look at his record.
He is like the most
he more
cast
than
iron
likely
sturdy
is.
Russian in the history of
He more than
combat
likely
sports.
is. Yes, he more than likely is. But you don't know how that affects a man, right? You don't know how the guidance and how the preparation and how.
He's not losing his father's tribute fight, I'm telling you.
No. But you know how it is? Like, I don't know. We don't know how it is. We're not fighters. But you're between rounds, right? You're down 2 rounds. He's never been down 2 rounds. You're in a fight. It's tough. The guy's landing some good shots. You're starting to get tired. Your father gives you a piece of wisdom. Your father motivates you. Your father tells you, son, this is what you got to go do. As opposed to you're sitting there with Islam Makhachev telling you what to do. Still pretty good. But it's different, And it's a big, big price tag. And then I was shocked because, listen, we're 7-0 on Khabib picks. So if I officially go Gaethje...
I've never lost a Khabib bet, no.
I know. We started the show in 2014. He already had 4 fights in the UFC at that point. But I was shocked to find out this guy debuts in the UFC in 2012. This is his 12th fight in the UFC. Sam Alvey debuted in the UFC in 2014. He's about to have 19. Mm-hmm. How does that happen? Khabib doesn't really fight all that often. There's a mystique. There's an aura. He's a badass.
When he shows up to work, he gets the job done.
But is that baked into the price? Is he such a fucking badass, nostalgic Fedor type figure that you're cooking it into the price?
If you're betting Gaethje based on
look, man.
the last time we saw the last time we saw Khabib versus Poirier, like nobody's fucking stopping that guy. He's got to show. If he doesn't show up, I'm getting so excited. I'm throwing my pen at you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm wearing a Khabib hat, so people are gonna try to take this with a grain of salt. I fucking mean it though.
Is there anybody?
If that guy, if the Khabib that showed up against Poirier shows up against any lightweight,
What if the one who showed up against
nobody's stopping that?
What if the
takedown.
one who showed up against Ally Quintus shows up? Does he kill him 8 out of 10 times if the version that?
I mean, the
'Cause
guy
he
who
got
showed
6
up in round
takedowns,
1 and
but
2, I'm under the impression that Khabib was playing with his food in rounds 3 and 4, and then round 5 he's just like, okay, just in case we've got crazy.
He was playing with his food in the Bryson Tebow.
He wanted to
fight
play
too,
with his
right?
hands. All we've heard from Khabib in all of his interviews leading up to this fight is, I'm taking this fight to the ground immediately. He knows what the threat is of Justin Gaethje. I'm sure they've trained together. They're both managed by Ali. They've been together before. They've probably, played around or sparred, not sparred, but rolled around with each other a little bit.
That's the key difference, Paul, right? Let's say they meet for a weekend getaway, okay? Right? It's feasible that they've wrestled together in that weekend getaway. Gaethje now has knowledge that Khabib might have even showed him, hey, dude, we're friends. We're managed by the same guy. We're spending some time together. Here's a couple moves. This guy does, this is what you do, this counter, right? In those times that you spent together, yeah, he never punched you in the face. He never kicked you in the leg as hard as he could because you don't. Not until fight night. And Gaethje comes out on fight night. Anyways, listen, it's just such a big price tag. I wanted you to talk me into Khabib, but so far I'm hearing a lot of Fedor type nostalgia, right? I just
What are you talking about nostalgia? I was talking about literally his fight against Poirier.
You thought it was a masterpiece?
It was a masterpiece. The only spot was round 2 where he ends up in a little bit of trouble. We are going to openly accept anybody who wants to take go for a guillotine choke on us.
I'm worried.
Great, get it to the ground. That's where we want it to be. The only thing was, and yeah, he took a couple shots as Poirier's just chasing him down and just throwing looping shots, just trying to be this is my only way to win. And he landed a good one, but Khabib never really got fazed by any of it. I think we underestimate how good Khabib's chin is as well. Think about all the shots.
Seen him get hit,
Tony Ferguson took a hellacious beating, but he was able to maintain. He was able to take him. He didn't fall down like the 3 people in a row that Gaethje iced in the first round. James Vick, talk about chinny. Edson Barbosa is pretty durable over time, but he has been sparked. I think of Cowboy Cerrone throwing a jab on him, dropping him, and then cleaning him up.
And that was when his chin was all the way together. Jamie Varner blasted him once upon a time as well. But
Khabib's chin, I think, is super underrated. People try to talk themselves into every single time Khabib fights. Everyone tries to talk themselves into, this guy's got power. This guy's got this. Allahumdulillah. We're gonna get this. We're gonna get this one more time.
Could be.
And then it's hopefully he gets the GSP fight. I think he should open up his ideas, open up to the concept that GSP can't get down to 155. We've never seen GSP at 155, so why would he come down for one fight? But yeah, Khabib should be a minus 400 favorite here, in my opinion.
Last question then. You got him by decision? You got him inside the distance?
See, I was actually talking to my buddy Bo about that because there's a prop out there plus 400 by unanimous decision. And, we're in Abu Dhabi. The judges are going to be favoring the
Gaethje really needs to put a beating on him where he's in trouble.
Gaethje probably needs a finish or has to be so undeniable. But the problem is just Poirier is a tough guy. And the amount of pressure that Khabib put on him, anybody over the course of 5 rounds is liable to wilt. I know Khabib used to be a decision machine before, but now we've started to see that, as he's improved himself, people always kind of forget that he's getting better every single time. I don't know if people can take that type of defeat. So, I wouldn't be surprised. I looked at the props on it. I didn't like them enough. I saw Khabib 11-1 round 4, 11-1, or in that range. I don't have any numbers in front of me.
Do you want to see weigh-ins?
Round 4, round 5.
55 before.
Yeah, he's looked pretty slender in the interviews, I think.
Yeah, no tiramisu. That's always a positive.
No tiramisu. Hopefully. weigh-ins are always a stress bag.
Could be some tiramisu between here and weigh-ins.
For sure. Maybe you got a better price on Khabib if he struggles with that weigh-in. But, so what? Your pick is officially...
You know what? I'm gonna take Justin Gaethje, and I
really?
I would say if you gave me plus 275 on anybody in elevation fight team, I would take it. It's a 5-round fight. He's got good cardio. I just don't like.
All right, let's make a bet here.
I'll shave my upper lip into a Chechenian style beard.
Do you want me to do the same?
Khabib wins.
So yeah, if anybody will throw up a picture right now of the Khabeard, which
I'm gonna look. Yeah, I can't say I'll look like a fool because they all rock it and it actually looks gangst. I just am not them. So.
We don't have exactly the body type. That
right.
The Khabeard is the full out beard and you kind of shave the mustache. It kind of looks ridiculous, but so it's Khabeard for Khabeard. Is that what we're doing?
What are you gonna shave it into if Gaethje wins?
Would you want me to shave it into something else, or do you want me to have a Khabeard?
So we both end up with one. If Khabib wins, I gotta get it. If Khabib loses, you
Yeah,
gotta
you only
get
have
it?
to do it for like next week's show, and then
Yeah,
whatever.
of course,
Then,
of course. Yeah,
then you can have your
Gotta go
facial
for
hair
it.
back.
yeah. All right, yeah. I'm fine.
Khabeard for Khabeard?
I mean, you got a 335 favorite, but I'll take it. Sure.
Game on. All right. I think we talked about that one for a long time, but I had fun with it. Welcome to another edition of the Dogger Pass podcast. This for UFC Vegas 12. Coming off the heels of UFC 254, where the GOAT, I mean, he was the GOAT in my mind forever. Long before it was cool to say Khabib Nurmagomedov was the GOAT. I've been beating that drum for a long time. Cody Saftic here in studio with me. A Khabeardless one, but I felt, Khabib's a humble guy. Just kind of, I didn't feel right making you shave your mustache. We're about to go into Canadian winter here, and you need all of it that you can get. You should probably be wearing that hat at some point, though.
Getting chilly out there.
Yeah. But yeah. I mean, Khabib went in, did what he had to do. We're not here to talk about all of that. We've got a full slate of fights here. But what I did, I gave you an out. On Twitter, I kind of said, he's got a nice looking mustache. He's coming in real thick. I don't feel right, on a 3-1 favorite, 4-1 favorite, depending on the time that you'd bet it, making him, actually follow through with this bet. But you have to issue an apology to the GOAT.
Got to issue a formal apology. So first and foremost, I would like to sincerely apologize to absolutely nobody, Paul Shaughnessy.
Oh, come on.
That's right, baby. I'll tell you something. I'll fucking tell you something. My mayor taught me when I was a young child, only a punk bitch doesn't pay back their bets. So unfortunately, I might need the camera to help me out with this one. But
oh, God, this is going to get...
Yeah.
No. That is amazing. You got to wear the hat. You look great.
A little hair in the mouth. Yeah. That's the problem with mustaches, I guess.
What are we gonna do with all that hair?
I don't know. There was actually a lot more in my mustache than I thought. I don't know what this looks like.
Starting out with a bang in this one. What a guy. Throw the hat on. You'll look good.
What does that look like?
Here you go, kid.
Is that approximate?
Here you go, kid. Here, throw this bad boy on. Let me just get a shot of this we can't release this to the people because that was a hell of a sell job that you had there.
Well,
but I'm gonna need.
Khabib deserves it, man. That was a hell of a performance.
Oh, what a
You
shot.
you can't question greatness. And listen, I got a problem with questioning greatness. I bet Reyes over John Jones last time out. I obviously went against Khabib.
Well, Reyes arguably beat John Jones. And
Yeah.
John Jones
You know who
John
arguably
Jones
did
is
beat
on his
Khabib?
own little
Nobody.
planet right now. Just like let Khabib have his moment, bud.
Yeah, I know. He's totally freaking out. But listen, I mean, my argument for why Khabib's the best of all time now, if it's not, it's Georges St. Pierre. I would have really liked to have seen him go for the 30th win over St. Pierre and put all the arguments to rest, and it would obviously be the biggest fight that the UFC is able to put together. But quite frankly, it's just the way he beats these guys. It's the class that he is. It's just the manner of, like, John Jones has these close fights over guys that I would consider to be less than stellar competition, whereas Khabib will basically fight whoever you put in front of him. I know people said he ran from Tony Ferguson. Not the case, clearly. And the guy just looks so good every time out. So,
And maybe the most dominant or best weight class, or at least the weight class with the most number of people. The average human or average male, probably 155, 170, or like the weight classes that they would be able to get into. I mean, he just progressively just kept getting better and better. There were early spots in his career, Gleason Tebow.
One spot early in his career.
Yeah,
you know, and it wasn't as if he got outclassed by no means. When you look at George, it's like, well, George lost to Matt Hughes. Oh, but dude, he was one of the legends. Okay, you give him a pass on that. Him losing to Matt Serra, it's really hard to give him a pass for. Him, the fight with Johnny Hendricks, all of a sudden, it's like, I don't know, not so impressive. You look back at his list of wins, doesn't seem like it's the most impressive, but it was all the best guys of that time. George is the man. Khabib, same thing. I mean, he fought outside Tony Ferguson, I suppose, the best guys that they put in front of him. And I get there's people saying there's some soft competition here and there, and like, he did it.
There is on everybody's.
Would I have
record.
liked to have seen him go up to 170, fight Colby? Sure. Would I have liked to have seen him go to 170, fight Kamaru Usman? Yeah. Would I have liked to see him fight George St. Pierre? Hopefully at a catch weight at 165 or 170? Absolutely. But I get it. And I got a lot of respect.
Apparently,
for
his
him,
mom asked him not to fight anymore, and fighting was his dad's thing. What are we gonna do about that?
Mama Dukes
What are
tells
we
you
gonna do
something.
about that hair there, bud?
Well, I just won't touch this thing when I do the PRP at the end. Yeah, listen, Mama Dukes tells him it's time to hang it up. All respect to him. So
I mean, he's gonna make lots of. He's
Humble
gonna have seminars all over the world.
I mean,
and he's gonna
he
make
doesn't
his.
need the
He's
money.
gonna make his money.
Why would he do seminars? He doesn't need the money. He made $10 million for that fight. Disclosed $6 million, and then once his pay-per-view numbers come in, makes $10 million. Like, why would he want to travel around? And maybe that's the kind of guy he is. You know, he'll be running
The amount of
these
money he'd be able to get
camps and-
for said seminars may get him.
Yeah,
to
who
do
knows?
it. But he says
I would say he enters politics. It's like the Russian athlete thing to do.
Maybe.
They'll give you a spot. People really respect you. They love you. They'll vote for you. And all of a sudden, they'll kind of bend over for your policies and all this and that. It's kind of like a common Russian thing to do. But Khabib's he did everything he could do more. But like, why bother? He's done enough. So
Yeah, Javier Mendez was asking him to kind of be a coach, and you know they have a lot of Dagestani fighters that come over to AKA. You know, a lot of them when they first come over, like Khabib, don't speak English. I could see that working out pretty well for him too. I mean, the guy's, as you said, he's made his money. He can kind of do whatever the hell he wants at this point. He's never a guy who I thought really, really loved fighting. He kind of said this was his dad's dream. This is the GSP fight was his dad's dream. That's what his dad wanted to have as like his final legacy fight. But Khabib weigh-in issues and stuff like that. He never really loved it. You could kind of tell he's just insanely good at it.
yeah, for sure. And listen,
if this is the time, and I think it is,
Yeah.
like he's not a guy who says one thing and then does another thing. He's usually pretty honest with his approach.
Yeah,
I think
fair
he's
enough.
done.
But let's just call a spade a spade. If you're Javier Mendez, when Khabib walks through the door, it's not just Khabib walking through the door. Oh, he's retired. We're cool with that. Khabib walks through the door. There's 6 or 7 badass Russians with him. They're all fighting in the UFC. I don't want to
all
lose.
have
I don't want to
Khabeers.
lose Islam Makhachev. I don't want to lose Saeed Nurmagomedov. I don't want to lose Umar. I don't want to lose all these guys. I don't want to lose everyone that walks in with him. And plus, he's got guys that are bodies for everybody else that's in camp. You don't want to lose your 5 points off all these guys competing. So yeah, hey man, stay here because otherwise they're all just gonna stay in Russia and do their thing. So anyways, 4 weeks ago, hit a 13-1 parlay and end up doing a shoey. Like what the fuck, Jermaine Durand and me.
bullshit, eh?
Yeah, and then last week hit a 14-1 parlay.
For the
15-1
record, I did
actually 'cause
not.
of the draw,
I
and-
saw you with the mustache. I thought I gave you the out.
No, you don't take the out. What you got a man up.
You look
That's
good
life.
though. Like, that's a
Yeah.
good look, kid.
Poirier fight with the ribs, then the Ferguson fight with the hand, and then since then it's just even the USADA cut thing, and then the quote in it, Duke Roufus being like, "Dude, don't fight, man, don't fight. Just take the show money and let's go home." It's like what they should have
Holly
mic'd
Holm
him.
luckily kind of saved my night.
Yeah. You know what? They should have mic'd up Duke Roufus. It'd make it real easy for live betting situations because the first round would end and then he'd be like, "Fuck it, kid, let's get out of here." And I'd be like, "Okay, yeah, he's not gonna turn it around." I don't know. I know I'm sounding like an idiot. I'm being really harsh to Duke Roufus, one of the legends and all this and that, but it's like it's a quit
what's he ever
mentality.
done for
It's
you?
a fucking quit mentality. And you go back to Duke Roufus's brother, the one and only Rick Roufus, who's like one of the greatest long pancake boxers of all time. And he takes on a Muay Thai fighter. I can't even pronounce the last name. Epic video. Lawrence Kenshin does a great breakdown on it. But low kicks beats Rick Roufus. He just kicks him in the leg. Rick Roufus is a long pan kickboxer. He doesn't deal with leg kicks. He's in and out. He just gets chopped down by the leg kicks and eventually can't continue and loses. And then they talk to Duke afterwards and they're just like, "Oh, how do you feel about your brother losing for the first time?" And he's just like, "He didn't lose. The guy cheated. He kicked him in the leg."
Quitter's mentality.
Yeah, kicking in the leg is for cheaters, he says, okay? 2 years later, Duke Roufus won his first world title with low kicks. The guy fucking dropped the low kicks. Because he realized in that moment, shit, this is an effective strategy. But his bitch ass was like, no, you're a cheater. And I never liked the guy. I've never liked the guy. But he had such
I would hate to shit on this legend. Never liked the guy.
Fuck Duke Roufus, man. I'm
Wow.
going all in. And you know what? He's had world champions. Tyron Woodley's a
shouldn't
world
clip
champion. Nah, don't put that as the like try to sell the show for the week.
Yeah, that's a little bit aggressive.
Yeah, whatever. He can come leg kick me anytime.
No, I won't. I
will
won't do
fold.
it. Usually I will, but I don't want to. You know, you still book and you still make. Have you done that in a while? You booked a card, booked some fights or anything like that?
Yeah. Also,
like
don't,
you have
don't-
those
don't-
types of things, so I don't want to.
I know.
I don't want to hurt.
And honestly, dude,
your
don't
chances of
don't-
profiting in that way.
Paul won't. I will.
and don't don't
So don't let
don't ruin my relationship with Duke Roufus in the offhand chance I need a quitter on one of my shows to give me 5 minutes and then pack up his shit and go fucking home. Because that's kind of, and listen, Duke wasn't in Macy's corner. It's not like Ben Askren actually was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, his shit was going real good too till he linked up with him. Fuck, what about Jared Gordon? Hey, remember when he was a Danaher? Fuck, he was good. Oh wait, then he went to Duke Rufus's. Paul Felder's not really a Rufus guy.
I
and
mean,
like,
the shots
I
are
like
getting
Bilal
fired
Muhammad.
here, but it's hard for me to argue against. You know?
Wow, you guys leave an open microphone in front of me.
He's
The
a
show should
career
have been done
killer.
10 minutes ago. You're just letting me talk, and now I'm getting Duke Rufus.
This is where we get the best
upset.
stuff. This is what
where,
happens.
This is where I'm getting sweaty. You know, I'm getting sweaty. Like I don't know.
I guess we promised that we were going to say something about an athlete
Oh.
cheating on his girlfriend. There's no story to this.
So you're buying it though. It sounds like most people are buying it.
Buying what? Like it's
Well,
pretty
it looks-
obvious.
Yeah, okay. But whatever happened to innocent until proven guilty?
There's a video.
Yeah.
Remember when
right,
Ray
right.
Rice met, when things end up on video?
Yo, that was different, dog. It
There was video.
Obviously fucking Ray
I mean,
Rice on the video.
the end of the day,
This is like a 90.
Connor did not do
it's
any-
a 98% sure that it's him.
Connor did nothing illegal. Just want to put that out. He did nothing illegal. We don't know whether he even did drugs that day. He just slept with a girl who looks like she does drugs. That's the only thing that we can really take away from that.
I don't know, man. Have you ever been to Dublin? That's Dublin pretty right there. But
I have not been to Dublin.
I read
no.
that I totally stole that. I read it on one of the
I saw
comments.
somebody write, that's
and
a
I was
10
like-
where I'm from, mate.
yeah, I was like, that's pretty harsh. I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay,
It's more of a
okay,
story than
okay.
it really should be.
Okay, but if I'm trying to spin it positively for Team McGregor, it's like, man, are you kidding me? First of all, it could have anybody he wants. Second of all, you know, this girl just wants a viral video, make some money, get some attention. You know what? Her boyfriend looks kind of like Connor. If he gets a haircut, just like Connor's,
Dude.
and his beard, you know what? He's got a tattoo on his arm.
The tattoo's on the back. And
There's
then
a tattoo
when
on
you
the back.
when you flip the video,
Yeah,
because
I
it was
know,
taken with a
I
selfie
know.
phone.
I said 98% sure it's him. I'm
it's
saying,
100, it's definitely him.
you know what? I learned when I was
But that
a
doesn't
small-
mean he did anything
I
wrong.
learned-
Maybe
I
they're
learned
just
this-
friends and he took a nap.
I learned this lesson when I was a small child watching my television set. If the glove don't fit, you must acquit. So the only way we can know is if he sleeps with her a second time and see if it fits. And then we'll have a better gauge of if he actually did it or not. But until then, we just don't know. We just don't know, Paul. And I can tell you, I'm not an expert on the matter, but I can tell you, I am slapped with the nastiest, raunchiest, dirtiest bus stop hookers, all the way to the classiest, finest, most beautiful, elegant bus stop hookers. Why would you put yourself in this situation and she's filming you and putting it online? What a
'Cause he's
bad
sleeping.
move.
He didn't know.
If it was him. He's not sleep. Oh, here's my last point. He's not sleeping. He's drugged the fuck out. He is a high performance athlete with excellent reflexes. You wouldn't be able to be like, check this out, your dad, with your music playing. You don't think he would be like it's a fucking Vietnam and he would just catch that shit in midair? Mm-hmm. No, he was like Xanaxed out his ass and just
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean,
If-
it's a non-story, really.
If it's him.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
It
mean-
was kind of a strange story to get hit with. And then it's like Diaz isn't a domestic, and I was like, oh my god,
Yeah, but
like
that's false.
totally false. And I hope he sues the shit out of them, and I hope he makes copious amounts of money. I know people will say hopefully he doesn't make too much money because he's just going to take another 3 years off, but it's like, who gives a shit? He deserves it. And that's kind of a bonehead move on them. You saw the guy that they mistook him for?
Yeah, some guy with the last name Nate's.
Nate's.
And
yeah,
he's like
Nate's.
2 and 2,
Oh,
and he's
yeah,
got
yeah.
like it's like you put a bowl over top of someone's head,
Yeah,
trimmed around the
yeah.
outside, and then his hair. I'll throw the picture up right now. As you can see, the hair goes over top of the glasses. It's quite the look.
Yeah.
It does not look like Nate Diaz. I don't know how, except for the fact that his name is Nate's would be the only reason that anybody
Yeah, but could you
could have
imagine
ever.
busting this guy and then being like, hey, buddy, I don't know. Like, how would you know he's an MMA fighter? That's not exactly something you know when you arrest somebody, right? And he's like 2 and 2. So it's obviously an officer's having a conversation with him, and it's like, oh, this guy said he's a fighter. Oh, and his ID says Nate's. Oh, that's that famous fighter. I just don't know how nobody researched it. Like, nobody bothered to check and like, I don't know, man. What a strange week to come back to.
Do you feel like Connor
Weird
is
things.
actually on the straight and narrow though? Because that was the story they're trying to sell you last time out.
I think he is.
I don't.
Okay. First,
I
of
think
all,
that was this guy's the best at like promoting fights and
No,
like
you don't even know
and
how old
building
that
the
video
mental
is.
warfare that he wants to create.
You don't know how old
I
that
think it
video
all
is.
had to do with he wanted to be nice to Cowboy, so that right out of the gate, no hand touch, and just went right after him. Tried to get that knockout faster than George Masvidal so that he could get that record. Don't kid yourself.
There's no
I think the
beating
whole
it any
nice
faster.
guy thing is. I don't believe him. I don't believe it for a second.
Okay.
I think
I'm gonna make
I
some
think
more
this is all
points.
PR
I'm gonna
move.
make some more
What he
PR
did
points.
against Cowboy is he wants to basically. He knew that you're not. If you're gonna get into a let's sling some shit at each other type of war with anybody after the year and a half that he had, he's not winning that type of debate. So what you got to do is go the other, be the good guy, make sure everyone's like, oh, Connor's such a good guy again. He's changed. You'll see. He hasn't changed.
You know what? A couple more points that I'd like to make then, since we're getting into it. First of all, you don't know when the video was taken, and I know there's people been talking about the song.
It's gotta be in the last
the song that's
year.
on within the year. Yeah, but people are making it out to sound like this happened yesterday or this
Yeah, I
happened.
know.
So you don't know if this was back when he was in full on party mode. That's thing number one. And this is all assuming that it is him, which at this point we're talking about it like it is. So let's just say it is. Is that we don't know when the video was taken, so it's hard to say he's not now on the straight and narrow when this video was taken. Second thing is that somebody found this girl online or something. There's like, I read like a conversation where she's like, she says she has more videos and more pictures, probably from the same night. And what I would assume is this girl has been trying to extort some money out of the family over the last however much. I want this, or I'll release the video, or I'll release the picture. Finally, she says, fuck it, puts out the video, and then says to them, I got more videos and more pictures. She's looking for a payday. Okay, that's thing number two. Thing number three, everyone jumps to the conclusion that he fucked this broad. Where at no point
It's true.
do you have any evidence that he fucked this broad. You have all the evidence that she's in the room with a passed out Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
So the scenario A exists. Conor got really fucked up. He partied. He's passed out. Okay, we've acknowledged that he's probably on Percocets, Oxys, Vicodin, Xannies. Allegedly. Did I not mention that? This is purely allegedly.
Yeah, very allegedly.
Okay. She walks into the room. It's Conor McGregor. Look at me eat a fake pussy real quick here. Like, I don't know what this girl's on when she comes in the room. But she has a video with Conor McGregor.
Probably whatever allegedly Connor is on.
Only she has a higher tolerance because she's not coming off a training camp. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Thing number two is, who's to say he didn't sleep with some dime piece, goes back to her flat, sleeps with her. She's gone in the morning. McGregor's still passed out because he's on a bunch of drugs the night before. And the roommate or some other hoe who's told, Conor McGregor's here, comes by and takes a picture. And by the way, I have respect for women. It's just this girl, I think we can admit that she herself is a bust-stop hoe. Okay, I think we can acknowledge that. Hypothetically a bus-stop hoe.
Allegedly.
She's allegedly a bus-stop hoe. I don't know her. Yeah. Also, she could easily go to OnlyFans right now and make some money. So she's creating
That's
something.
where she'd been taking these pictures.
Yeah, because everyone says how gross she is, but she charges $9.99. You'd be like, well, I want to see what Connor saw at least one time.
I mean, if you're her and you want to go down that path, you go to TMZ and you say, hey, look what I got. Because they got the big bucks. And this is like, that's exactly what TMZ salivates. at the opportunity of acquiring that
You
type
know
of
what?
content. Hashtag content.
TMZ is so tabloid and
No,
let me finish.
Okay.
But they are very accurate with their
Everything.
sources.
That's what I was gonna
don't
say.
fuck up. You're
No,
gonna say
never.
the same thing.
Yes.
Exactly. So I'm telling
Like
you,
they were the first ones to
I'm
break
telling
Kobe,
you-
and like honestly, if you go over the
No,
when
no,
they
they're-
report
they're
a
on-
story,
they're on
like they're
point.
on
They're on
point. They
point.
always are very early to
Yeah.
the cause. They break the news a lot of the times, but they're very rarely wrong.
Okay, so we went to the same college and we took the journalism program, and you have to get multiple sources. Okay, so crackhead, allegedly bus stop hoe, contacts you. I got this video, it's Conor McGregor. You look at it, it looks like Conor McGregor. Albeit, I'm sitting at 98%, so I'm not 100% sure it's Conor McGregor. Do you have anything else you can verify this with? No. Is there a second source? No. Is there do you have anybody else that's collaborating the story? No. Conor and his team are saying anything about it? They're denying it. I'm not going to pay you $50,000 for this story. That's just the facts on it, right? So I don't doubt that TMZ passes on it because it's not a matter-of-fact 100% thing. It's very speculative. Until he releases a statement, it's going to remain
He's
speculative.
not gonna. He shouldn't.
People accuse him of raping women and doing this and doing that. And it's just like, because none of it's actually been proven in the court of law, it's like you can't really just assume. Like, you don't know. He's so rich and he's such a polarizing character that, like, I don't doubt that this shit's going to happen. I can't discredit the story and say it's not real. Fucking looks real. But seeing 30 seconds of one person's perspective for 30 seconds, and that's all you see.
That's true.
We're all just really jumping to conclusions that he slept with her and that he did this and that, like, and he's a piece of shit and blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't think anybody's denying he's not been faithful to
mean, he's
his
not a
common law wife, but they're not married and he's a young man on top of the world. Like, it's not, remember how I said a couple episodes?
That's what I said earlier. I
I don't
said
care what someone else does in their own life,
athlete
right?
cheats
It's their-
on
it's their
girlfriend
own
is
thing.
not exactly a headline here. Like, this just happens in all sports. Conor McGregor just happens to be one of the most popular athletes on earth. So if anything surfaces with him being, you know, a little salacious.
No, because if the story was Conor McGregor cheats on wife with Instagram model, it's a non-story. If it's Conor McGregor cheats on his wife with, who's that, Rita Orman or something? She's
Rita
like,
Ora, yeah.
Yeah, so she's like a British pop singer or something of the like. Nobody bats an eye. Conor McGregor cheats on D. Devlin with a $2 bus stop hoe, allegedly. That's a little more like, dude, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like, he's on top of the world. It's like if you were really rich and you were like, hey man, you're doing drugs at this party, you're rich, you're having a great time. Someone's like, what are you doing? The nicest cocaine, and you're like, no, I'm snorting ketamine. They'd be like, the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you have money. You have money. What are you doing? That's how this one felt.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you smoking meth when you could be, I don't know, man. It was just a strange one.
Cody Saftic, ladies and gentlemen. Always got the hot takes. Oh, I have a little thing. You know, a little greasy theory alert, Cody.
Yep.
So you know how, like, a lot of the times you're like, he says he's 35 years old, but he looks like he's about 42. Like, this is like a thing that you say. Like, sometimes it's with Russians.
I say it all the time.
What if Yoel is that, but the exact opposite? Yoel's actually like 35 right now. Nope. And he just like, it'll be a lot more funny if people think that I'm like an old man. And this guy's just going to be fighting until he's like 55.
Yeah.
But he's actually going to be like 40, 45.
You know what? And I don't even think it would be something.
He could be
like,
lying to us.
Right. To further that greasy theory and just add some bullshit facts to it, I would say it's less of a chance that they were like, hey, this would be funny, you're an old man. More of a chance of, I'm in communist Cuba. I would like to qualify for the Olympic team. Are they going to take the 26-year-old or the 22-year-old? They're going to take the 26-year-old because he's a bigger, stronger, more developed athlete. What if I just lied, said I was 4 or 5 years older, qualified for the Olympic team, motherfucking defected off this island, and never looked back? Yeah, sure, I had to physically go to the Olympics with this birth certificate. So now that I'm living in Miami, I'm going to have to ride it out. But whatever, who cares if people think I'll be the new Randy Couture. When I'm 47, I'm going to be still fighting, and people are going to be like, wow, you broke the record.
How was your weekend, Cody? What'd you get up to?
Yeah, obviously a really good weekend. Picks were very well, and then outside of that, still summertime weather, so very happy with that, Paul. I'll take it for as long as I can. And yeah, now we got another pay-per-view offering. Not the greatest pay-per-view, but yeah, some good spots, I think, and looking forward to getting to it. Whoa, what the hell happened here?
I had to dress up for greatness here. Cody going 11 of 12, almost hit the PRP. I don't know if you can hear me on that. People on the comment section were saying for me to drink a Shoey. You didn't even take that bet. That's like one of the only bets you lost. Stolia Stinko and
Stolia Stinko
and her were the only. And Lewis.
Am I gonna get Grace with the Shoey here?
Me was. I mean, I probably should.
Oh, I didn't even know about this.
And we're not drinking Pilsners because it's a celebration, bitches. I got some Perrier water here. Guys, settle down. It's Perrier water. It's nothing else than that. Oh, interesting top to this.
Having some French champagne.
Got that. But
Sparkling water, unless it's from Champagne, France, dude.
Please don't break the lights.
A king like you, Parlay King.
Wow, you're being
can't
far
be drinking
too nice.
out of anything like that.
Wow, where'd you get these bad boys?
I mean, we made the
Jesus.
bet. We made the bet. These are supposed to be for punishment, right?
Yeah.
Do I have to drink out of this? Hey, you made me so much money this weekend. If I get any infectious diseases.
All right, get it. You know, the alcohol actually sanitizes it, so you should be in a pretty good spot. Now I'm pumped up for this card.
All right, we're aiming up.
Woo!
My eye!
Oh, just get at it. Just get after it.
Oh God, where the
I'll have a little swiggy of that myself.
There you go.
Oh, let me get a little swiggy of that.
All right, let's go.
Paul Shaughnessy. You know what? And I pussied out of the bet too, so that's pretty impressive of you.
You want me like 6K this weekend?
Oh yeah, no, it was a
I'll
very
gladly
good
let
weekend.
you have that.
Well,
I did spill Perrier water all over myself. That's
yes,
unfortunate.
of course. That's a nice Perrier.
Can I
water, too.
permission to drink out of this for the remainder?
Yeah,
of
no,
the
hey,
episode?
yeah, of course.
Pat,
But
would you like a cup?
I'm good.
Okay, we went right off the rails, right off the top here, boys.
yeah, no,
Hopefully
definitely.
we'll get into some picks. Here in a
I
second.
will. It's funny because we're talking about Cormier, who's making a bid for GOAT status himself. So I guess the mask is fitting. I want to address that. I know some people say that in the comment section, and it's a good term. Oh, the greatest of all time. People will say that we hit some parlays, we make some money. People always
Cody,
say
you
GOAT.
are the
Just
GOAT.
no. Just no. I don't want to be the GOAT. I don't want to be considered the GOAT. Because that's just how I was raised, man. My dad got to where he was from never being the best. He was one of the best. He hung with the best, but he was never the best. Don't get to the top of the mountain, because then the pressure just buckles you over. I don't want people thinking, oh, this guy's the greatest. There's a lot of great guys. Talk to a lot of people. Spread your information. Do your own research. Ultimately, if you think I'm good, that's great. Consider me one of the good guys that are given free tout service. Tout, what the fuck am I talking about? Free service in general. But yeah, I don't know. I feel I'm not one of these guys to goat and be like, oh yeah, gloat, I should say. Gloat about being a goat. So I do appreciate it.
That was Conor McGregor versus Eddie Alvarez. This is like, it's still got the tag on it.
You know what? You actually almost Cody McKenzie'd it. Remember when he fought Sam Stout and he had like basketball shorts on? There was still a tag. Herb Dean had to rip the tag off. I always wonder where those shorts go. I'd love to add it to my
there's
collection.
a lot of other good touts. There's only one goat, and it's Cody Saftic. So yeah, there's people who are like, oh, you clearly know more than your co-host about things. It's just like, yeah, guys. When in doubt, if we're disagreeing, like Cody's track record, history in this, I've seen your tickets over the years. Cody's really good. Listen to Cody. I think I wrote to somebody last week. It's like, when in doubt, listen to Cody. I try. I'm pretty informed, but
No, man. I prefer the whole win in silence thing, but I want to address that as well. I know, but people will mention some shit in the comment sections. They'll be like, "Oh, what, fuck, Paul should shut up." Like, two things you got to realize. First of all, there would be no show without you being here. I would probably be getting high in my basement right now, watching Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and tape studying a little bit. We do the show together. We started the show together 6 years ago, April 2014, still doing it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be giving out free advice, hanging out with you and Pat doing the show. So you're obviously an integral part of the show. Second of all, is disrespecting you is disrespecting me. So, like, please, I love when people interact, make comments, but like, say something about the fight, you know?
Man,
or take a shot at me. But
think about how fat, when we first start doing this, think about how fat I was. Like,
think about when we were the new kids on the block.
It's almost impossible to
on
completely
Fight
get under my skin. At least if you're
awful.
somebody on Twitter or YouTube and I've never met you, I never will meet you ever in my life. Like, why would I let you affect me? It doesn't really happen all that often. 99.9% of people are all positive. But yeah, no. You can try. You can try to troll me. It's not gonna bother me. Anyway, why don't we talk about fights?
Let's do it, man.
And I agree with the live movement. I think Mike Rodriguez should be able to absolutely piece up Ed Herman in this spot. What about you?
Yeah, so
I got a comment here.
What?
Do you remember that game Guess Who?
Yeah.
Ed Herman has Guess Who face.
He kind of does.
in this case, you could actually just win the game by being like, does your guy look Irish? And then bam, Ed Herman, the only guy left. Does it look like he's got a sunglassed hand in that picture? My boy Ed Herman has been through the motherfucking ringer, boy. I mean, 38 professional fights. He was on tough. He was just, this guy's been fighting at the highest level for a very long time. But yeah, his once decent athletic ability is like pretty much vanished at this point. His best days were at 185 pounds, where he was strong and his wrestling was actually pretty adequate. Team Quest Portland kind of guy. Eventually got awarded as a BJJ black belt, and then he added that shuffle hook to his game. He added the uppercut to his game. He added the single collar tie, and now he just really wants to wear on guys if he can. He was a grinder at the beginning of his career. He's fallen into the grinder category now late in his career. The difference is the game's just changed so goddamn much. Nowadays, you got to compete with even a guy who's is considered lower mid-level, and Mike Rodriguez. He's 6'4", and has big power and is just a lot more dynamic, a lot faster. So how does Ed Herman defeat him? He needs to slow him down. He needs to get takedowns. He needs to get this later. Now, as you talked about, Rodriguez has suspect gas tank. Sure, fair enough. But like Ed Herman has suspect gas tank. Once upon a time, he was a grinder. He could go, but that's not the case anymore.
Yeah, he was able to exploit Hadis Ibragimov, but that's because Hadis comes
like to
out,
talk about that,
way
yes.
too hot
Yes,
every single fight, and then gasses out. That's how Ed Herman, just being able to outlast him is how he won that fight.
Okay, so yeah, when you look at Herman, it's like, oh, geez, he's actually won his last 2 fights. But the Cummins fight, it's like, oh, he hit him, and that's quite simply, we're playing punchy-kicky. We're going to hit him at some point. Cummins just couldn't take the punch anymore. So he knocks out Cummins, and we got to give him some credit for that, but at least with a grain of salt. It's the Kadis Ibragimov fight that's even more important. Because you see Kadis Ibragimov 0-3 in the UFC. And you see Kadis Ibragimov haven't given a good account of himself in those 3 UFC fights. The Dud-Ung-Jung fight, he goes out just like a madman in the first round, and then completely fades to smithereens and loses and looks like a fool, right? His last fight in the UFC, which will be, I would believe, his last one, against Roman Dolitz, just looks absolutely pitiful and gets knocked out in the first round. His fight with Ed Herman was competitive, at least. He went 3 rounds. He took Herman down twice. The striking numbers weren't too bad. He lost the fight. Ed Herman did win the fight. But Kadis is awful. And at least versus Herman, it seemed like, he's in it, kind of. He could do something. Whereas like the other guys, and we're talking about Da-Ung-Jung and Roman Dolitz, smoked him out. So with Herman, one has to definitely imagine it's like, okay, those 2 wins, maybe not great. Now he takes a year-long layoff because, he knocks out, or he beats Kadis Ibragimov almost a year ago. And then this is hilarious. Supposed to fight Da-Ung-Jung, right? Ah, man. Event canceled due to coronavirus. 3 months later, book it again. Da-Ung-Jung withdrew. Short notice replacement comes in. Jaromir Shart tests positive for COVID. Rebook it 1 month later. Jaromir Shart pulls out.
Out to be scheduled against Chimaev.
Rebook a short notice replacement. John Allen takes the fight. John Allen bails out. Kevin Holland steps up to the plate and says he'll take it. Ed Herman's like, I already drank 2 margaritas. I can't fight Kevin Holland. Hilarious. So
is that actually what he said?
Yeah. Fuck yeah. He said, on poolside, I had 2 margaritas. By making Ankalaev the anchor, I'm thinking he's my least likely to shit in the pie. But it's not him shitting in the pie as much as it's young Cutelaba breaking the fucking front door down, stealing the pie, and just fucking shitting in it. Because, it's like, Ankalaev didn't do anything wrong. It's like Cutelaba is just an absolute wild card.
He's a shit-eating wild.
Yeah, but that's gotta not. And if they fight 10 times, does he land that shot? Yeah, maybe at least once. And geez, he is 335, so they got it priced accordingly. But no, I'm going with the 90% of the time. The better fighter wins. Ankalaev is the better fighter. Russians have been good. Good Russians win. The bad Russians you always avoid. Sums up. And they're not so great. Ankalaev's a good Russian. Outside of losing that one time. You know what? Here's the other thing. Greasy theory for it.
And he was up probably like 30, 25, 26 on all the scorecards.
Yeah. And here's a greasy theory for you, just because I don't think I've done one in a while. And, that Hogarth's speaking to me. But Ankalaev comes from Russia. He's undefeated. His UFC debut. Guy looks fucking awesome. Just came from Russia. So obviously the mob's like, you owe us one. Loses to Paul Craig. He's a minus 750 favorite over Paul Craig. Didn't take any damage. What a great way to throw a fight. Doesn't take any damage. And then with 1 second left, I got a moral victory in the bag. These mob guys are going to kill me if I fuck this up. gives him the triangle, takes the tap, and since then he's a free man. He's allowed to show you what he's made out of, and he looks good, dude. Since he's been fighting legit.
Yeah, he's literally
been
looked
good.
bad for about 10 seconds of his UFC career. Collier wasn't exactly a power puncher by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah,
At
that's
185, 205, which is probably his better weight class. He was really big for 185. Like, I don't think he has to be a middleweight, but he's sure as hell is not a heavyweight. But the guy was never exactly a power puncher, and that is the best way to beat Jean Volante is check that chin.
But Jay Collier, as a child, drank gasoline, and it burnt up his vocal
No.
cord. Yeah, wasn't that him? I'm going
No.
to Google it.
No, that
Oh,
was
you know what?
somebody-
You're thinking of Alex White, and I'm
thinking of
I'm
Alex
thinking of
White.
Alex White. Yeah, you're.
he was the one
Okay,
who
Jay
drank
Collier's
gasoline.
fucked then, right? He's fucked. I knew he could eat cheeseburgers, but I also thought he could drink gasoline. Now that that's off the table, I really couldn't.
Volante all day, all right.
Yeah, Jean Volante all day. Collier maybe at the buffet afterwards, but Volante as far as the fist fight goes. You know what pisses me off about that fight is that it's taken years now, right? There was a stretch between 2014 until present day where you'd go to a bar to watch a fight. You can't do that anymore, but that's ancient history. You go to a bar, and there's always somebody that was like, "Pff, I kicked that guy's ass. I could do that." And it was like, no, man, you couldn't. If they were to see that fight, Paul, they would definitely have reassurance that they probably could do that. That is, the UFC should be putting this on. And that's why it's on Fight Pass. You really got to be a hardcore to look this one up. But
I mean, it's like Parker Porter versus
what a bad fight that was. Parisian versus Porter.
horrible fight.
And I had Parisian, but again, we dropped him down. A lot of people had him as like key guy. Hey, Parker Porter, awful. But it just goes back. When you're both awful, right? And let's give Parker Porter his credit. He's awful. Which is a compliment considering what we thought he was going in. It's just like, it's really low level. It could go either way. One guy had slightly better cardio, so he hustled up the other guy. It was a bad fight. You could see this one going, you could see it being a first round knockout. But if it ain't a first round knockout. But yeah, let's go with back class.
Hard,
We'll go
hard
with
to
back
think
class.
that Collier still has that gas tank together after putting on like 70 pounds to his frame.
What you showed me in that picture
Yeah.
tells me one thing, and we've known it for a long time. But
Is
it tells
John
me one
sweating?
thing. Yeah, that's a good sign. But again, he's in real bad shape. He's going to be sweating. It tells me one thing, though. Chris Weidman, still in his camp, still his boy, still his training partner, still trying to help him get back on track. Jean Volante is still training Chris Weidman. Whereas when you think about Jake Collier, who's he training with?
I don't have no idea. There's nothing out there, man.
Apparently-
there's no pictures,
apparently
there's no
this-
training pictures.
Apparently, this girl named Wendy holds mitts for him. Apparently, his other grappling partner is Ronald McDonald. You could name all types, you know? Maybe he's getting some rounds in with the Burger King. I don't know. In fact, I do know, and he is. At least Jean Volante is trying to put himself in a position to succeed, whereas Jay Collier might need money for more shitty tattoos. I don't know. Lots of variables. Hit me with a pass. But yeah, no, as far as the PRP goes, Jean Volante is going to be on it.
Welcome to another edition of the Dogger Pass Podcast. This for UFC Fight Island 5. I'm Paul Shaughnessy, joined in studio today by Cody Saftic.
5, Paul. Fight Island 5. Booker T would be proud we've made it this far. And yeah, keep the good times rolling, hopefully, coming off the heels of last week, which was
You
good
hit the
in many ways.
3, 5, and 7 leg parlays. I got in on those. Those were a good time. There was one of the parlays. It was the PRP. I was just like, nah, not touching that one. Why? Because you selected Juliana Pena against, you know, I'm rarely right, but when I do, I'll boast about it. And she just couldn't deal with the strength, Cody.
Fair. Okay, so at least in my defense, first round, what does she think? Loses the first round, no doubt. What is she thinking? Doesn't pursue takedowns until the last 10 seconds of the round. You don't go into a fight with Jermaine Durand, one of the most decorated kickboxers to fight in the UFC, her class, obviously. You don't go in there with the game plan of just stand and bang with this girl, and that's what she does for like 4 minutes and 50 seconds of the first round, loses the first round. Second round, close, I score for Pena, because she finally gets that
She
takedown.
definitely won round 2.
She gets
I'll
that
give you-
takedown.
Yeah.
It's when Jermaine Durandamy got up in some of the striking spots. She actually hit Durandamy a couple good times with some striking exchanges early in the second, takes her down, wins the second round. The third round, it's up in the air, man. It's 1-1.
It was okay. It was all like
she was the last pick on the parlay.
Jermaine could have
the last pick on the parlay. She was
separated,
the underdog.
landed a couple punches, and she would have won that round because Pena was. I mean,
What
was the name of that referee? Kevin was it Kevin Sataki?
Yeah.
He would have broken that up off of the fence like 17 times at that point.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. However, at least with the optics, it's like, you know what? Pena was holding her up against the cage for 4 minutes, and Durandamy landed a few
Not
knee
4
strikes.
minutes, but yeah.
No, but if you could have held it out for the rest of the round and just done that. She gets a little greedy, pursues that takedown, puts her neck into it, and the kickboxer, the decorated kickboxer, submits the decorated grappler and Juliana Pena. Yeah, too strong. So
This is what the people are here for.
a bet's a bet, and I did take a Shoey bet.
In fairness to you, and I appreciate that you're going to go through with this. Yeah, Pena was way down your list of favorite plays.
Well, we talked about it on the show.
You fell into the trap.
We talked about it on the show. I was like, Jermaine is such a better kickboxer that if this ends up being a kickboxing match, I'm going to be looking like an idiot for taking Pena.
That's what round 1 looked like.
Yeah, but if Pena just makes this a grappling match, then she'll win. And then she waited a little long, but she tried to make it a grappling match. Still fucking lost. So you have a good week, and you have still have to drink.
We're all having a good week watching you.
Oh yeah,
Go to work
great.
here.
Okay, so anyways, not to puss out completely because I am doing my bet, but it's a tall boy. I don't feel I'm gonna do the whole tall boy in the Shoey, but I will take the equivalent of a beer, no doubt.
And where does the beer come from?
Okay, yeah. So I got a Bavaria straight from Holland because to give JDR her props.
Props to the Iron Lady.
You know, there's a saying: if you ain't Dutch, you ain't much. And in this case, JDR proved that was 100%. I thought it was going to be Juliana, the Venezuela is paying, but no, definitely wasn't going that way. So, shout out to Jermaine. I'll have a Dutch beer in her honor. I want to get the iPad wet.
All right, let's see it.
Yeah.
It's what that's what I mean. If we look at like the analytics here, we'll probably see that like everyone tunes out around like the 4-minute and 30. People are just here to see you do this, Shoey. It's what the people are here for. That's what I'm here for.
Okay,
I mean, we don't even have to talk about this
generous.
card. As long as I get this on tape, we're good to go.
I'm not good at these though. You are. The time you did it, it was like you were taking care of business as if you've done it before.
I can drink a beer. Yeah, for sure.
Well, you lived in New Zealand. You tell the story about living in Fiji and New Zealand, and
I didn't drink all that much when I was out there. It's more the tree planting years. Drinking out of weird things becomes kind of like a fact of life. Matt Best behind the sticks there, struggling. He says he's got a bit of a soft stomach. Cody is going to work. I think you found the right boot this time. By the way, those are the shoes that Cody wore into this establishment. So that's probably going back on his foot once it dries out a little bit. You need some paper towels for that? Hey, well
Did
done,
you get
kid.
paper towels when you were in New Zealand, Paul?
No.
I think they spit in theirs, don't
Good
they?
work. That was your best chug ever. You were ready. You mentally, you were
just
in the
COVID'd
zone
the
for this
mic.
one. I've seen you cough over them. Anyway,
The last
Cody
one, what did I
Saftic.
drink? It was a wheat beer, the last one. Holy shit.
bad.
If you're
That was-
sitting at home and you're ever like,
if you ever want to chug a beer out of your
wasn't-
shoe, a Bavaria from Holland, not too bad, is what you're saying?
yeah, I'm considering doing the other half, but do it
Nah,
shit
you
like,
can sip on
yeah,
it.
all right. I'm just
can
gonna,
sip
I'm
on
gonna enjoy this beer and we can talk some fights.
Question from prop bet producer Pat.
Yeah, not really a prop bet, but if you look at the Nogueira's picture here, like how old is this guy? Like 94?
He's very old.
He's 44, Shogun's 38,
And, like,
but they're both 75
He
in
looks
fight
like
years.
he
Is the main
has like
thing.
a terrible spray. He looks like
he looks like he needs a bachiotomy for sure.
like-
Oh, he
Look
definitely
at-
needs a
look at-
Bacchiati.
look at his
Come
neck.
on. You know why his chin's that high? His chin's so high in the air because his back's
He pulled
fucked.
his back just before that photo.
He looks
clearly.
like if you were to make a remake of Fight Club, but you didn't have the rights to Fight Club, that he would be like the knockoff Tyler Durden, but way too old with a spray tan.
Is that a real tan or is that a spray tan?
Okay. Pat doesn't know fighters, right? And actually, Pat's probably a bad example. And we're all bad examples. But if somebody walks into a bar and you had to fight the guy on the left and the guy on the right, and you don't know either guy. You're telling me you'd rather fight the guy on the right?
I don't know.
Fuck
I'd rather
that.
fight the
Dude,
Shogun's-
look how weather beaten he is. This
Kidding
man
me?
knows how to
This guy-
combat.
No, hold on.
This
guy
man
on the
knows how
left
to
looks like
combat.
a fucking serial killer.
The other guy on the left used to be a male
Look at-
model,
yeah,
by
but
the way.
Mauricio, you just have to take one look at Shogun's nose and be like, no,
No, you wouldn't want to fight either guy. Let's be real.
Both of these guys' noses are shot to
Yeah.
bits. Their ears are absolutely mangled. Like,
Yeah.
These guys have both been through wars. I'm with you. I think Shogun wins. Shogun maybe could get a finish here. Like, Big Nog, we haven't
Yeah,
seen him
no,
in so
sure,
long.
sure.
We haven't seen him in so long. He could just be absolute. Like, he was already dust. Now we haven't seen him in a long time.
And he got smoked out the last time we did see him. So.
Yeah.
Well,
so-
why are these guys fighting then? Is this like when you see like
Because it's
Bret
fight-
Hart versus Vince McMahon at WrestleMania? It's
'Cause
like,
it's
let's throw them on the card.
Fight
We know who
Island?
these people are.
No, I
It's
like
Fight
this.
Island. They're probably buddies with Dana, and they said, "Hey, we've had a lot of wars for you. We want to come to the island." And Dana's like, "Cool."
I don't know if it's that straightforward. What I would say is that their first fight was like a legendary tilt. Like these guys went to absolute fucking battle. It's ranked as the 7th greatest light heavyweight fight of all time and the 42nd greatest fight of all time. And it happened 15 years ago. It was a fucking great fight. They booked a rematch on the basis of how good the first fight. It just didn't deliver. Now you're 2020. Shogun just almost got killed by Paul the Bear Jew Craig in a stand-up battle. He had to use his grappling to bail his fucking ass out. And Nogueira just got dusted out by Ryan Spann, non-competitive, really bad look. Who do you match these guys up with? Now Nogueira's Nogueira's already got on the record and being like, I'm retiring after this fight. So what do you let him do? Do you let him get KO'd in the first round by some up-and-coming prospect?
No, somebody that he's familiar with.
So I like the fight. I like the
I
fight.
do too.
But on a purely entertainment standpoint, it's not going to be the most entertaining of fights.
No, it probably yeah.
It's not the first one. Put it
Yeah,
that way.
these guys know each other's tricks. So yeah, a real slow pace, kind of depressing decision is probably the most likely. Just wait until the weigh-ins happen because when people see the size difference, like what Ilir lists himself as like 5'10", but he's probably
No, he's 5'8", 5'8 and a half.
He's probably like
I'm 5'8 and a half. Let me tell you,
He's probably like
He's 5'8 and a half.
5'7", and Derek Lewis is 6'4", massive. Like cuts weight to get down to 265 a lot of the times. Ilir was incredibly undersized for fighting at 205 pounds. Now he's taking on Derek Lewis. He's minus 275 favorite for Lewis, plus 235 Latifi. Like, I appreciate the cojones, the stones of my boy, the Sledgehammer, to take this fight. But, like, what are we doing here?
You remember that picture, Ilir Latifi, in all of his glory, riding the horse? And he's jacked. And
This
he's
is
on
the other one of
horseback.
him on top of a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Well, I'm going back to the horse one. In that picture, it's like, damn, this guy is jacked. He's huge.
He is.
But even in that picture, the most glorious picture of all time, even in that picture, comparatively, he's small compared to the horse.
Derek Lewis is the size of the horse. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay? So he's giving up a fucking lot of size. Now, here's a quick question for all the fans out here. Without you Googling it, without anything, just think about it. Name me another 5'8" heavyweight in the UFC. Who was the last guy that was 5'8" that fought at heavyweight in the UFC? And myself, the only one I could think of at the top of my head was Jeff Monson, who's 5'9" and a good 5'9". He's taller than Ilir Latifi. And do you know why you can't name a 5'8" heavyweight that fights in the UFC or that has fought in the UFC in quite some time? Because they don't exist. And why don't they exist? Because you can't be 5'8" fighting these guys that are 6'3", 6'4". Like everything's going against you.
Welcome to another edition of the Dogger Pass podcast. This for UFC Auckland, Hooker versus Felder. I'm your resident tout, weigh-in tout, Paul Shaughnessy, joined in studio by noted weigh-in bet serial donator, Cody Saftic.
Yes. Thank you for reminding me for that, Paul Shaughnessy. Might as well square up my bill right now.
I don't even, you know what?
One guy fucking misses weight on the entire card. It's Ray Borg. Yeah, what can you do?
I mean,
Well,
I think it was like a 50-50 per opposition. I'm shocked that you gave me 3-1. I only want 2-1 from you.
No.
That's what I was willing to give you.
That's a bet.
That's what I was willing to give you. No, I don't want your $300.
No, I don't care. A bet's a bet.
Take some back. This is Canadian money. People are like, what's
I got
this?
some American too, but yeah, what's that? You know how
Here,
people-
take that back.
No, I don't.
I was giving you 2-1.
Well, then you're gonna have to bet me something on this card. It's the only way.
there's
You're
not
letting me redeem
There's
myself.
no Ray Borgs for missing weight here. You put the weigh-in tout on the spot.
We'll find
anyway,
a fight we disagree on.
All right,
But
well,
still, a bet is a bet.
I'm staring at like Dodson. or Dobson. Potential maybe for her to miss weight. I could be wrong there. Cachoeira, she needs that money so bad that like that chick will not miss weight. I can.
Yeah, I don't
that.
see anybody missing weight, to be honest.
If anybody does, it's Shana Dobson.
Real professional looking group
That's
here.
the one I'm pointing out. But this is not a Ray Borg. Like that should have been like a 50-50 proposition. I was feeling very confident that he was going to miss weight.
The guy was on record saying, if I miss weight, I'll never fight again. I'll leave MMA behind.
That guy has always been a flake. And I know he's had other issues, and I don't want to attack the guy too much. But like, he's always been a bit flaky on things. Let's call it spade.
Right. However, the one thing I will give is we did mention on the show, we're like, the only reason if he would come in overweight is it'd be a great game plan in this grappler versus grappler fair.
I still bet Borg, by the way.
Yeah,
like,
we did.
I bet against
and we had him on DraftKings.
And I had him, like, I felt even slightly better. Maybe not that much better. He did look pretty bad at the weigh-ins. But, like, he's a great grappler. He's talented. But the problem is that skill for him, it doesn't translate to 135 the same way.
Well, he won his last 2 fights. One of them, he also missed weight.
Yeah, but, like, I mean, at the top of the division, he actually has a shot if it's at 125. That game plan can work really well for him.
Well, that's why I thought he could be a world champion at 125. He would be just another guy at 135. That's why they're devoted to making it. I make the bet. Turns out, my biggest takeaway from the whole year of betting, not just don't bet on Ray Borg's fat ass to make weight when you know he just doesn't.
That's a bad decision.
Don't bet on weight-related matters with a guy named Keto Paul. Fuck. Keto Paul knows it all. Guy lost 100 pounds himself. Why am I arguing about weight with Paul Shaughnessy? Fuck.
I wasn't
a bonehead move.
100 pounds would be a lot. I definitely wasn't. I wasn't 300 pounds. Well, or even,
260.
I'm not 160 right now.
What's the lowest you've gotten since the keto?
Like 179.
What's the heaviest you've ever been in your life?
260.
So what, 80 pounds?
Yeah. But like that, 260. Yeah, there was a family
sorry
photo.
for saying 100 pounds.
Family photo that they had. That it's like I'm wearing this like blue shirt, and like that blue shirt would probably be like a moo if I put it on right now. Anyway, well, Cody. Well, basically with OSP, me watching the weigh-ins and stuff, the real dead giveaway there was coming in first, weighing in 1.5 pounds over, and being like, no mas. And no, we're not waiting until next week. This beer will be so warm. There's so many lights here. We got the beer. We got this grimy ass boot. I mean, it's starting to get into winter time here, so like I'm gonna have to start wearing this boot again. I'm gonna need to find another drinking boot or another wearing boot. I don't know, but I ended up getting onto your parlays. I wouldn't have liked to get onto your parlays because you had Hill in the first leg, and if OSP weighed in properly, all of that type of stuff, this wouldn't be happening. But I ended up tailing your parlays, making the buck. So I've never been happier, Cody, to be drinking this out of a boot. That was a pretty bad pour. There's lots of foam here. This could be problematic, but yeah, once we get this out of the way, we will get right into the action here.
Yeah, I've come to realize it's all in the pour because you get it too foamy, then you can't chug it like anything. It's just too hard to chug back. If you get a nice smooth pour, it's still difficult. See, I can tell you struggled a little more with that one than the last one. But hey, buddy, getting it down.
Trying to talk and pour at the same time into that boot. There's weird shit going on in that boot. Like things got.
I get a shiver just thinking about that grimy ass boot too. Oof.
Things got gross, but I've never been so happy to drink out of that filthy, filthy boot. Let's get into the main event here. We were just talking about Brian Boom Kelleher takes on Kevin Natividad. Is that how I pronounce it?
Navidad. Feliz Navidad.
That's not Navidad.
Feliz Navidad. Isn't that how it's spelled?
No.
Pat, give me a fact check on that. If not, I'm gonna feel real bad for Kevin.
It's Nativid.
I think you're talking about like fucking Peter Nedved over here.
Well, I thought his name was Kevin Christmas translated, but apparently it's not. So, is that what Feliz Navidad is? Merry Christmas?
Yes, that is Merry Christmas.
So Feliz would be Merry, and Navidad would be Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it's not Ivy's dad.
Or maybe I'm wrong. Joaquin Christensen, one of the worst of all times in 2017. He's had 10 fights or so booked since then. He's lost the 3 times that he's went through with them, and they're all in the first round. Zimurad's going to come across. He's going to try to finish you. He's going to throw down. I can only imagine that's the only reason why he's getting a fourth opportunity here is that it's fun. He's plus 300. It's impossible to click on that. The under, it almost feels like they're just setting the biggest trap here.
Yeah, it does, doesn't
Cody,
it? Doesn't it?
Find yourself someone who looks at you the way I look at under 1.5 rounds in this fight, minus 125. Because, like,
Crazy.
I just want, it's like, hide your kids, hide your wife. We're undering everybody out here. That's what I want to do. Talk me off of this ledge. The guy hasn't been outside of the first round since, 2014?
Yeah, once in the last 5 years.
I know that Grishin, you go through his history, he's fought decent level competition along the way, and he's not exactly a finisher. But against Gadzimurad comes out trying to look for that finish early. So I don't have to pick a side here. I don't have to bet minus 360. I just bet the under, and we'd be on our way. Am I crazy, or is this just the play of the card?
No, I think you're not necessarily crazy. I think with Antigulov, if you are a fan of the show, then you know all of the greasy theories that we've thrown out there for one Gazimar Antigulov over the past. But yeah, he knows all of these greasy theories are in fact actually accurate. And so he fights to it, man. He's only there to fight for 5 minutes. He's got 1 round in him. He cannot fight longer than that. Matt Best, hit me with the board real quick. We just want to bring up
2016. He got to the second round, but I think the under
years.
has cashed ever since 2014.
Do we have a board with his face or
We
no?
don't, no.
Okay. Then just bring it upon yourself of just going and looking at a picture of this man, and then just take in consideration that this man claims to be 33 years old. Lie, flat out
He's
lie.
at least 40.
Okay, so he signed to the UFC. I actually wanted. He was a plus 140 underdog against Markos Rogerio de Lima, who I love to fade. You got a Russian coming in, combat sambo specialist, ends with a V. It's for me. I like him. I reach out to my Russian specialist. I say, I'm gonna hammer this plus 140. He says, yeah, he should win. Keep in mind, he's 40 years old. This is 4 years ago, man. And
No way.
And
How has he fought this many times? And I think this is the first time I've ever heard this part of
I've
the
told you
greasy.
this. He's lied about the age. I've always said, let me see the guy's.
Yeah, but you were
let me see
saying
the
like
guy's-
greasy theory is what you said before. Now it seems like
I
you
can't tell
actually
his
have
name.
circumstantial evidence.
Wow, I don't have evidence because I'd have to be able to present not just like, oh, my buddy.
Where's
my
your real
Russian
birth
guy,
certificate?
My Russian guy. No, in that he doesn't have an ACL in one of his legs, right? So when you see him fight, it's kind of noticeable. He's definitely herky on the leg, and he doesn't want to fight for more than 5 minutes because he's not 33 years old, which would imply he's near the back end of the prime years of his career. No, those were years ago, and he's damaged goods. So he got to go out there and finish as quick as possible. It worked for him. The Rogerio de Lima fight, he got a bonus.
I mean,
Yeah, you got a performance bonus. So he picked up 50
DeLima
Gs.
fights by the sword, dies by the sword as well. Like,
Right,
that's
but-
generally how he fights.
For sure. So he goes out there and he got a couple performance bonuses. Doesn't have to fight past the first round. Perfect. And then against Ion Cutelaba, he tries to just like, oh, it's not working. Against Oleksichuk, oh, it's not working. And then with Paul Craig, I mean, he gets the takedown. He gets right on top of Paul Craig. And Paul Craig just like, you can see this triangle coming in slow motion. And come on, you're fighting Paul Craig. You got to tell me you didn't plan for him throwing up the triangle, but no.
Literally what he does.
And it's in slow motion. And just like, he's just like, how much time's left in this round? Shit, 3 minutes? I'm just going to let it happen now. It's like, boy, oh boy. So with Grishin gave a bad account of himself in his debut, but it's understandable. He takes it on short notice, up a weight class. And not up a weight class, I competed at 55. I'm a natural 45. It's like, no, he went and fought a 255-pound plus man in Marcin Tybura, who largely just controlled him up against the cage. If that doesn't happen here, what you're going to have is you're going to have probably Antigulov might be able to go out there and he might be able to take down Grishin in the first round. He might be able to get him. But once he doesn't finish Grishin in the first 2 or 3 minutes, Grishin's getting back up and piecing him up with his kickboxing. Grishin's got a lot of finishes on his record. He's a good kickboxer. He wasn't able to show any of that against Tybura because what would happen was when the fight did reach open space, he was so gassed.
Shit, Tybura looked. He came in
game
with like a
plan.
little
Very good
extra
game
pouch,
plan.
a little
Very
bit
good
more,
game
a little bit more
just
cushion for
leaned
the
on
push in there.
Yeah.
But like he shit.
He leaned on Grishin, so Grishin's got to hold him up. So now his arms are gassed out. He's got blood just flowing through him.
I'm talking about Tybura's just against.
Tybura's figuring it out
against Rothwell this past
Yeah,
weekend.
He's figuring it out.
Where,
but what I'm saying is it's
withstood
an
the early
understandable thing for Grishin to be in that spot. Short notice, up a weight class, gets a big guy who fought a very good game plan to just neutralize you. It is what it is. Against Antigulov, he's literally half the size. He's not going to be in there fighting you for 15 minutes, and you're not going to get tired grappling with this guy. You should be able to take him out in the open field. So the under 1.5, like you're saying, makes a lot of sense. I also think Grishin 360 is not a good price. Pretty much none of the favorites on this card are a good price because they've all been steamed properly. I think they're the rightful winners, and they got steamed a little too heavy. But Grishin falls in that category. He'll end up being parlay material.
Grishin inside the distance is 165.
So yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm just gonna bet that under.
Let's hit a nice little festive season parlay ball.
Yeah, get the kids, a Christmas miracle.
Well, this card it would be a miracle because it is shit's road.
Yeah, there
man.
are
You know what I think?
landmines. Landmines are to be had everywhere. There's question marks on all the. I mean, there's a lot of close pick'em types of fights. It's just a matter of finding the spots that you really love.
I would think there's a room. You might have Sean Shelby in it. You might have McMahon in it. You got Dana in it. It starts off with a. And then they're like,
God,
what the fuck, man? It's the last card of the year already. Oh, I'm surprised it ran through us. Who do you got about? Rick Glenn. Motherfucker's still on the roster, dude. Hasn't fought in 2.5 years. Yeah, we got to give him a fight, though. We owe him a fight. Okay, put Rick Glenn. Who do we got to fight, Rick Glenn? Oh, Carlton Minas. I don't even know who that is. Line him up. What else do we got? Cody Durden, Jimmy Flick. What? Didn't that fight already happen? No, it got canceled. Fuck, we owe them a fight, don't we? Yeah, we do. Okay, Jimmy Pickett. Dude, I did not give that guy the contract. No. But the second time, I didn't give him the contract. No, the third time, oh man, I did give him the contract. Him versus Tafon. Tafon's gonna roll, baby. What else do we got? Ayman Zahabi. Are you sure he's still on the roster? Like, this card is really, I owe you a fight. It's the end of the year. Contractually, I don't want to get sued. Here's a fight, 14 of them. Take your pick. So, listen, there's going to be a lot of spots.
So can't
Matchmaking's tight at the ace. Duran win. You sure we didn't cut that guy? No, DC called, begged 3 times. Oh, fuck, that's right. Isn't he only 5'6"? Cody thought he was 5'8". Motherfucker's only 5'6". Ah, shit.
That's like basically the greatest breakdown of this card.
Yeah, well,
I mean, there's a lot of fun fights. I'm going to enjoy watching all
it's gonna be fun
this.
as hell. It's just like let's make some money. Let's make some holiday money for the gang.
I feel like right now you are really dodging the main event
Oh,
of the show.
Let's move this iPad.
Because
You want me to give
Jamal Emmers. Well, if anybody was missed last week's episode, have a little listen and viewing of this.
Jamal Emmers is my DK shoeing of the week. I think he's gonna fucking score big here, man.
That's a boot, though. Nobody can see it.
Oh, okay.
not too sharp.
Then why did you fucking say it was a boot, Paul? They might have believed it.
Is it a boot? It's
what?
It's a low cut. It's a high cut shoe or a low cut boot. I don't know which.
I'll tell you. Let's make it interesting.
the glass
If
half full
Jamal
or empty?
Emmers loses,
Oh God.
obviously a possibility he does. If Jamal Emmers lose, and I made him my DK shoeing of the week, I'll fucking do a shoey out of this boot. All right, shoey next week's episode. If Jamal Emmers loses, and trust me, Paul. Well, you're not spitting in it. First of all, I know a shoey. You got to get the guy to spit in it. Fuck that. I'll pour a beer and then drink it.
So, what do you have to say for yourself, Cody?
Well, I was bold on the proclamation that Jamal Emmers wouldn't fight an unbelievably stupid game plan. Pretty much everybody that broke down this fight mentioned the fact that this guy stands entirely too long and doesn't use his wrestling when he should. But I just thought, hey, he's going to change. Because obviously he's not going to beat Giga Chikadze in a striking match. You know what he almost did? Maybe it was a bad beat. The thing is I was obviously bold. You just watched the clip. I was obviously bold in saying he was going to win. So, yeah, regardless, like a split decision win that would have gone his way if it had gone his way, it doesn't matter. It was a bad play. So, I know I had a boot on the show last week. You know, and I want to do
It was kind of a high cut shoe.
Yeah, it was
low
kind of
cut
like
boot.
bit of both worlds.
So you didn't even really bring a shoe this week. Are you
I was gonna bring a shoe.
reveal it?
I was gonna bring a
You're-
shoe.
You're delaying again. Let's get to it.
I was gonna bring a shoe, and then it dawned on me: who made the shoey popular amongst our fan base or amongst the Twitter universe? Who made the shoey popular?
Tai Tuivasa?
Who's motherfucking dead to me? So I'm not doing no shoey. I'm gonna do
A booty?
a booty. right? We're doing a booty. We're gonna take a Miller High Life because clearly this is fucking me living my high life, Paul.
Yeah.
And get a little sip off this bad boy because it's a tall boy. Ooh. And yeah, I don't know why this became popular. You spent some time in New Zealand and what? New Zealand and Australia. This was not. This was not a thing.
I can tell you, this was not a thing. This was not a thing.
Oh fuck me! All right.
Whose boot is that anyway? Like,
It's my boot. What am I gonna drink out of somebody else's boot?
Not during the coronavirus outbreak right now. I would hope that.
Can you get Corona off a boot?
I mean,
I just want to make a mess. Don't tell Pat about this.
depends on where that boot has been.
Yeah. Also,
Have you poured the full beer in there?
no, I want to say there's nothing in the boot because I don't want to pull no dirty. He's got a cup in the boot. It's a dirty boot.
Yep.
See that? It's a dirty boot. No gimmicks here.
Oh,
pal.
show the boot. Yeah, there's nothing in the boot. Nothing. No tricks here.
No fucking hidden
gonna-
line bag, which would have been genius. Just put a Metro bag or something in there. No. Motherfucker. All right.
4. So, like, how often are we gonna be doing shoeys on this program moving forward?
Till I get one right, I guess.
We don't have one for next week, but yeah, we don't have to do it every single week.
All right.
I just,
Shoey down the hatch.
Cody. Yes. That is.
Oh, so
Tai
foamy.
Tuivasa makes it look a lot
foamy.
easier than you, kid.
Oh my god. You know what the problem is?
What's that?
Nobody pours a beer just downwards. You know what?
Nobody drinks out of a shoe, typically. That's what I would say. That's the problem here.
Yeah. No, it's just very foamy.
Did you finish that? Uh-oh.
You know what? It's a tall boy. Let's get a double shoey in.
Double shoey.
Double shoey because it was a split decision. And I guess I'll make another shoey bet because I got to get them eventually.
Yeah. I
Oh,
like it.
man.
Should update your profile.
No.
Your profile on Twitter says co-host
The
of
double shoey
of
idiot.
Bookie
Yeah,
Beatdown,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
a show that hasn't existed for 2 years.
All right. Yeah, I gotta change that.
Should have your shoey.
I just
should
hope
have your shoey
I just
record
hope
on it.
I just hope that eventually when the legality runs out on it, we'll just change the show back to Bookie Beatdown. But Dogger Pass has got as much momentum, I guess.
Yep.
All right, double shoey down the hatch because it was a split. You know why? You know why it's a double? Because 2 judges fucked me. One of them was all right. All right.
Man of his word, Cody Saftic taking down his booty. We're gonna roll you right in from that. Keep going. We're almost there. What a hero. What a hero. Oh, what's the joke?
Okay, guy walks into a doctor's office, walks over, and doctor, I need help. Something's wrong. I got and the doctor says, holy shit, okay, yeah, no problem. We'll look you over. Takes the guy, they run some scans on him. So then he comes back to the guy, and the guy says, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me, doctor? He says, we ran some scans on you, man. I gotta say, you have got the biggest penis anybody in this office has ever seen. Like, holy shit, man. Anyways, as it turns out, this thing just takes so much blood to physically operate. It's just taken away from your brain. You're not getting enough blood going to your brain. That's just what's causing these, like, you to have this stutter and you to kind of be off. So it's, we're gonna put you into surgery, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove a chunk of it, but you're still gonna have average. Still gonna have average just like everybody else, totally fine. No worries. We're just gonna remove the rest of it. So he goes, yeah, do it. So they go through the surgery. Guy's fine. Guy leaves. No problem. 2 weeks later, guy walks in the doctor's office. He says, Doc, listen, man, I gotta tell you, man. I mean, listen, it's good being able to talk again. I'm feeling good in that regard. Like, life's kind of gone bad. But here's the thing, man. You told me I was gonna be average. I can't pick up a chick anymore, man. Average is a lie. These girls don't want average. I'm having no luck, man. Like, fuck it, dude. Put it back on. I'll just deal with the list, man. Put it back on. And the doctor says to him, go fuck yourself.
I missed it.
Anyways.